In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Please. Hello. 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 Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. I don't know what I was doing there.
I don't know what you was doing, but it was fun.
I don't know. Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome. 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 It is, what is it called?
It's Warhammer Sunday time, folks.
I do like it when you say it much better than War. I love the way you say it.
What, Warhammer Sunday? Yeah, it is, mate.
Yeah, it sounds much better. It sounds much more forceful and impactful.
I'll have to do it as a voiceover for you on the intro. It's Warhammer Sunday, isn't it?
In the grim dark, go on, say it. In the grim dark, go on, say it.
What's that? What was the quote?
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
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 It's the little war at the end of war. It's the way you go.
Not war.
It's the way you put an A on the end of everything.
It's war. Yeah.
War.
Yeah.
It's water, but we're not water. It's water.
Yeah, no, it's not water. It's water. Pillar.
If it was a war over water, it'd be
war over water. There you go.
Yeah, water.
Yeah, water.
Oh, shut up, Fox. Right, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to Warhammer Sunday. It's that time of the week when Festa and I remember to put our chair up because it's too low. Hang on.
Yeah.
And we do our Warhammer goodness. As always, let me get all the rubbish out the way first. First of all, big massive thank you to my channel sponsors, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Link in the description below the. I nearly said link in the description below the violence then. What?
Hey, what?
Link in the description below the video. I nearly said violence instead of video, and I don't know why. Link in the description below the video for e-models. I'm weird. It's having a weird day. And of course, my patrons and channel members, big thank you to them because they keep this channel alive and keep this channel in business. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/modelmakinguru, or you can press the join button under any of my video content. Now, it's not just me, of course, doing this nonsense. As always, I have my stalwart chum and erstwhile buddy is, of course, Festa 67's workshop. The man himself is with me. You can also support his channel, but I'll let him tell you about that. Hello, dude. How the devil are you, darling? How are you doing today? I knocked my camera.
Did you see out my nose? It's one of them days, isn't it? Yeah. I'm
fine,
mate.
Have you got peas up your nose?
I've got peas, yeah. If you'd like to support my channel, go over to patreon.com/Festa67's workshop, or click the join button below my content and become a member. He doesn't know what I'm
just nailed the level of enthusiasm that is. I think you've nailed the correct level of happiness.
You very nearly blurted it out then, didn't you? Yeah. It's been like that before we went live, folks. I've been mocking him off air. And yeah, so apologies for behaving like a 5-year-old. Yes, you can support me on patreon.com/Festa67's workshop. Thank you. Very glad, folks.
You just pimped it twice in the same. God damn it!
I know I'm good at it. You've taught me well. Also, if you want to get our attention in the chat, you can do an @ModelMakingGuru or an @Festa67's workshop. That puts our stuff in a lovely gold box. Or there's more. There's more. Jazz hands.
But wait, there's more.
You can click the $ and leave him a super chat and be super generous and super special.
And we can't possibly miss those comments because there's something in my mouth. Hang on.
Oh, no. Yeah. Was that good pimpage? Yeah. You're impressed, didn't you?
That was very good pimpage. I'm just getting rid of some toothpaste drivel.
Whilst you're doing that, would you like me to do a bit of chat dollying for you whilst you're trying to do that, or are you all right?
You can do. I'm done now, but you can fire away.
Yeah, oh, you're liking this. You're getting a bit all lazy and everything, ain't you?
I know, it's nice for people to hear your voice.
Yeah, we got rerun trading in with a third like. We got the bobbins in doing the thumbs ups. Happy days when I'm bobbins. Some bloke called the Guru saying hello.
Yeah, I don't hear that.
Jeff Light is in. He says evening Fox, Cole and everyone in the chat. Hello again, Jeff. You all right, mate?
Hello, Jeff.
Richard Thomas, Scale Model World is in. Says good evening all. Eon's Carl's in. He goes boop. Hello. Hello, mate. How you doing?
He gets a boop. Is that a boop on the snoot?
Yeah, it's a boop. Hello. Don't forget, folks, the word of the week is blimp. So you got to get that in somewhere. Yep. See, I remembered.
Yep. Good girl. I've forgotten that completely.
The Goombay dance band, a fanboy, Darren Edmonds is in saying hello. Hello, Darren. How you doing?
Cool. You're a monster, you know that, don't you?
Bobbins quote today: peas. Eon's Cars prompted my question: what's in the belly? What's on the bench? What is your beverage of choice? By coming in with belly crispy codfish strips with chips, and on the bench, he's got the mini nights. There you go, mate.
Oh, hang on. I've got to do this. Fish strips.
Oh, that sounded sinister.
It did, didn't it? Or
yeah, who was that bloke that used to be on the TV that spoke a bit like that? Bernie Winters, that was it.
I was really hoping you weren't about to go into an Operation U-Tree conversation. There was
no. There's certain names that we do not mention out loud, mate, and that is one of them. I never liked him anyway. Richard Thomas says his thumb is up.
Good lad. So's mine, says Jeff. If anyone was wondering about the mini nights, by the way, that Eon's Car's doing, you know, you get your Imperial Nights that are that big that you can't see because it's off camera, but they're about a foot tall. If you get there's a game called Titanicus. It's another Warhammer game.
Oh, right.
But it's designed so if you don't want to go and buy the 4 foot tall Titan from Forge World, you can buy a little mini version of it that's about that big.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you can play this real small scale thing with Knights and Titans, and the Imperial Knights in that set are like that big.
Absolutely.
They're as big as a Space Marine. They're adorable.
Darren Edmonds says, thanks, Festa. Not a problem, Darren, mate. I do my bit to help you out. And bear in mind, Christmas is coming. So, you know.
His job is to make you suffer. Yeah, right. So, yes, thank you for that, Cole.
That's all right, mate.
But yes, we are back this week. And if you've been watching these shows, you'll know we are doing an Educating Festa series at the minute. Now, keep in mind, this is not me saying I'm brilliant and learn how I do things because it's the right way and I am the god of painting and you guys are rubbish. It's not that at all, because that's complete nonsense. I'm low level mediocre at best, but Festa wants to learn as many different painting techniques from different people as he can, so he can put them all into a big bucket and then rummage around and find different ones when he needs them. We might mix them all together and watch if they turn green. But that's it. He wants to learn as many techniques from different people. And as I know him, there's no point just watching a video of mine. He could just say, oi, get off your ass and sit with me and do it.
Yeah. It's like, oi, neckbeard, I want to know how to do that.
Like, if he lived down the road, I'd just go round and show him. But he lived like 1,000 miles away, so we can do it on the interwebs.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I normally just insult him and go, oi, trimmed beard man. You know the one I mean.
Trimmed beard man. Oh God, platform face.
Yeah. I really got under Fox's skin during the week. I may have bombarded him with beard trimmings that he hates. And it's like, yeah.
Stupid nonsense.
It was about 2 a.m, wasn't it? And he was still having a rant about it. And I said, well, you mean a beard like this? And he was like, can't believe you've just done that.
Yeah, don't get me started on my old man beard rant. Oh, stupid millennial hipster rubbish. I don't know. Anyway, so we've been working on our Leman Russes. I shall let Colin explain how far we've got and what he's learned so far.
What have I learned so far? I've learned not to paint. I've learned not to paint really bright blue tank tracks because it takes an age to get them to weather down. But yeah, as you can see, we've been doing the Leman Russ. We've been overdoing the chipping because it's Warhammer. Why not? We've been doing the little stripes on the front. I've got decals, purity seals. Last week or last time we was doing the tracks with various different greys and different colours and bits of blue so that we could put MIG track wash or ammo track wash or AK track wash and start rusting that down. We've got chips and scratches all the way around. Exhaust, we did the exhaust the other week. We did all the different shades on how to do rusting on the exhausts. So yeah, we've been doing really well, I think, didn't you?
Have you learned at least 3 things in the faulty parts of your brain?
I've learned at least 3 things. 1, don't chip when you know you're going to be painting a stripe over the top of all those chips that you really spent a lot of time doing. So I've learned that.
After you've done it.
Yeah, I've learned not to, this is to do with the stomper, but I'll bring that into this as well. I've learned not to glue really big things on Warhammer kits before you've painted them because it makes it really annoying to do.
Really big things that make them hard to handle.
Yeah. No,
I think we both learned also never to live stream painting really big things as well.
Absolutely. No, it's been interesting to learn the original technique we did on this, body colour, where it was done with just dry brushing, not airbrushes and that. So that was a plus learning that, because there's not every day that Edward Spannerhands can grip an airbrush, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, yeah.
It is possible to get kind of pre-shaded effects.
Yeah, and I still didn't get round to making my damn sandbag, did I? I must do that.
Sandbag!
Yeah. So, yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's been really interesting, mate. So, yeah.
Jolly good. Good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
Today, hopefully, what we're going to do, we're going to carry on with the tracks. As Festa said, we painted all. I was trying out a method that I've tried a few times with varying successes that I've only recently learned, which is painting the tracks various shades of grey and then using enamel or oil washes, rust colours to make it look rusty. We used Ammo by Mig's track wash, track rust. Is it Ammo or is it AK Interactive?
AK
Interactive.
AK Interactive. Track wash.
Track wash. Jinx. Ha. But we tried it like thinned and like a bit thinned, and then on some of them we did like not thinned at all, or some multiple coats just to get some variation. But it does look a bit like wood. It looks like the kind of like fake wood finish you get on a kitchen unit, that veneer.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to take that a little bit further now. We need to bring back the metallical goodness. But also, I think we should paint the square bits in the middle as if they're rubber grips, like for road use. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
The track pads?
Yeah, should we leave them metal, or should we make them rubber? I've never seen them painted like rubber before on the official artwork. But
why don't you do alternate? Why don't you have one metal, one rubber, one metal, one rubber, all the way down both sides? So you've got the best of both worlds. It could be on road or off road. Or would that end up looking like a zebra crossing?
I think it'd look a bit like a map, a dotted line on a map, wouldn't it?
Okay.
What do you think? Rubber or not rubber? We'll go for one or the other. What do you think?
I'm
thinking rubber.
Do rubber, mate. Do a bit of rubber. Yeah. What are we doing? Rubber black or Skaven black? Blinge.
Blimp.
I was desperate not to call it Skaven black. That word.
Minge. I'll say it. Minge.
Yeah.
I think what we can do. We want to get...
PJ's in the chat saying hello whilst you're doing that.
PJ, welcome. I think. Let's. If I've got one somewhere. Let's have a think. We want it to look like rubber, slightly worn rubber that's been in the sun and worn. So I can think of a few stages. I need to get a colour though. Those are blue. Those are no use. Those are also not grey. Do you have? I think you do. A pot of. Actually.
German grey.
I'm thinking now. Wait, what?
German grey?
No. I was going to say Mechanica Standard Grey.
Yeah, I've got that.
But you mentioned Skaven Blight Dinge, and I've also got Storm Vermin Fur.
I've got Storm Vermin Fur as well.
Have you got? If we do Skaven Blight Dinge, it's going to be a bit similar to the actual base colour. So
that's right. Yeah, I've got Mechanica. Yeah.
Mechanica. You went all German on me.
Yeah.
Let's go for. Where's Mechanica Standard Grey? How dark? I've forgotten how dark that is. I can't find it now. It's the one colour I've got 1,000 pots of.
Yeah, I've got the Standard Grey. What are you going for, that and the fur, are you?
Let's Mechanica Standard Grey is another blue grey like the tank colour. So let's go for Storm Vermin Fur because it's a warmer grey. Now it's a bit of a light colour.
Yeah.
But we're going to then use Null Oil to our advantage.
Oh, right, yeah.
As the French would not say.
So let's dig that out.
If you've got some Storm Vermin Fur, I assume you have.
It's on my bench in front of the camera, mate.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I've got my old fur out. No,
Steady, Neris. Some things I do not wish to know. That is nicht richtig.
Oh, it's supposed to be mates. I thought, Yeah. Can have one of them.
Yeah. So anyway, how are you, Colin, my old friend? How are you doing this week?
I'm fine, mate. You know me.
Gassy is the answer.
I am. I necked a big swig of tea, mate, because
Yeah.
No, I'm fine, mate.
Eon's car says not rubber. What's not rubber?
Not rubber black. Or not do the pads rubber. I don't know. I don't know what he meant.
We've decided now anyway. So, and we're off across the horizon. Yes, sorry. So you're saying, how are you doing? Yes.
You know me, mate. Just goofing around and getting through things. We'll leave it there. It's been an eventful week.
Yeah. Have you been any productive at all this week? I haven't.
Yeah. I 3D printed all my little grot tanks, didn't I?
Oh, you did? That's so adorable.
Yeah. So I 3D printed them. You know what's coming.
He's got big ears.
Oh, no.
He's 2 little googly eyes on the front.
So, yeah, that's what I've been up to, mate. Been doing me tanks of the grotty kind. What brush are we using, Geese?
I would go for a medium layer if you've got one.
Medium layer.
On it.
Let's have a look, Elo.
Medium layer.
Should have one of them somewhere. Let's go for that.
Or something that size. That doesn't really help if you've not got one to say what size it is. It's bigger than a small layer and smaller than a big layer.
I've got an army painter regiment. Would that do it?
That'll do. That'll do. Give it a go. You can always move to a slightly smaller brush if you need.
If I need to.
Yeah, right. All we're going to do on this.
I can go for a character brush. That's a bit smaller.
It's up to you. Well, all we're going to do is we're going to be painting the pads, but we're not going to bother painting. Here's the trick, you see. If you look at the pads, these square bits in the middle, they're raised up like a little square block.
Yeah.
We could sit here and very carefully and anally paint all the edges. No, screw that.
Yeah.
All we're going to do is we're going to get the brush at like 45 degrees and just run it along like that.
Basically, just scoot it along them. Yeah, happy days.
Yeah, like you're doing an edge highlight. You're not using the tip of the brush. So you want to get it on the wet palette. I know you know this, but I'm going to show this for everybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
If some people, by the way, if you're watching this and you think sometimes I'm being a bit patronizing towards Colin, like saying how to get paint on a wet palette, I'm not showing things like this for his benefit. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm showing this because there'll be people watching who don't know how to use a wet palette, things like that. So
yeah,
I explain it to the viewer as well as to Colin.
Yeah.
So a little bit of water, a bit thinner than normal.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Make sure you get a lot of it off by twizzling your brush, because you don't want the brush loaded with paint because it'll blob everywhere. And all we're doing is quite literally, that's a bit too thin actually. It's just a bit more paint. All we're doing is literally layering this over. Now it's going to take a couple of coats probably. So I'm just moving. I've got the brush about that kind of angle. I'm using the bit behind the tip of the brush, not the front of the brush.
Would that be 2 thin coats?
It may well be 2 thin coats.
See what I did there.
I've got to pay royalties on that now. God damn it. There goes on my monetization to pay Duncan off.
Oh, Lamekins. Yeah, and he will take it as well.
Yeah. So he's got my bank details. So we're just painting that top surface basically, and we'll take a couple of coats and work your way around. And what we'll do is we'll actually bring this back to a rubber look later on. Hopefully bring it back. It might end up just looking like the rest of the rusty track. The worst comes to worst, it'll disappear into the rest of the track colours. McLeish
is in. Says afternoon, Blurpulans. Hello, Andy. How you doing, mate?
How's the blimp, buddy? I've done it. That's my contract fulfilled. So I know it seems like weird that we're starting off with a colour, like you want to do like a black rubber effect, start with a very medium grey.
Yeah.
But it's because the way I want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't want to have to paint the edges of these because that will be an absolute living nightmare because they're really small. I end up painting all the rusty bits off, but also the way I can do those edges, I can also make this look a bit more like rubber.
Yeah.
By using Null Oil. So if I think ahead, if I paint it almost a rubber color and then put Null Oil on it, it'll just look black. So
yeah,
what we're going to do is paint it a grey that will get darkened by the Null Oil.
You're good, you are.
I have my moments. Now it's up to you if you want to do all the stuff underneath, because it's going to sit on its tracks. I'm not going to bother with mine. I'm going to leave that, but
yeah,
I'll do it to where you can see the treads, and then other than that, there's no point doing underneath anyway.
Bobbins has got a belly roast turkey breast joint with veg, bench still on his Nimrod and beverage whiskey. Eon's car has got belly crispy codfish strips with chips on the bench. Mini nights. There you go.
I've just realised we've made a terrible mistake.
What?
You've made a terrible mistake. We need to stop doing this because we need to do a step before this. I've just realised that.
Oh, really?
So yes, that's your fault. So what you can do is stop. It's not nothing bad. We'll come back to it in a minute. I forgot we need to do a bit before that. So we'll give it a minute for that to dry. Because we need to bring back the metal, don't we? We need to bring the metal back to the rubber bits. Now, if we're going to do some dry brushing, and if we do that first...
It's going to go over the pads, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm sure I've forgotten something. So let's not do that. What we're going to do is...
You're a spoon.
I know. I'm dead excited. I'm working on your tank, and it's dead excited. And that. What we're going to do is... Do you have... I want to use Necron compound. I might not want to use...
I might have some of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I want... That's the one I want to use. I think mine might be a bit crumply, actually, but...
I don't know whether I've got Necron compound. Let's have a looky, Lou.
If not, it's not a problem. Where's all my metallics? There they are.
No, that's Astra Granite. What's that? That's Astra Granite debris. No, I don't have Necron compound.
Okay. It's just a dry paint metallic, but
yeah.
Actually, yeah, not a problem because it's probably going to be a bit too bright anyway for what we need right now. So that's fine. Let's go for lead belcher. Lead belcher.
Yeah, lead belcher.
Or I'm so useless. Or no, we'll go for lead belcher. Let's just put my flag in the sand. McLeish says blimp. Yes, that's this week's word. Remember, word of the week. You have to get
absolutely. Can you let us know in the chat as well that audio and videos coming through fine would be big help.
Paul Lewis says belly still empty, bench still empty, beverage still empty. Status will change in the next half hour. Anything can happen in the next half hour. Eon's car says, "Oh gosh, they are cute mini grot tanks."
They are, aren't they? They are the cutest.
They are cutularity. Right. We'll give it a minute for this stuff to dry.
Yeah.
You can blap it with the hairdryer if you want, but mine should be dry by now. It's only a thin.
Yeah, it's only had a thin coat.
Thin coat. Now, let's just make sure I've got some paint in this pot because it's feeling a bit like, oh, yeah, that'll be enough. Okay, so we're going to do a dry brush, but we're going to do super delicate dry brush.
Oh, God.
I know those are words that make you a little bit nervous.
Yeah, they are with my clumpy Edward hands, but yeah, I will go for it.
We shall do it in such a way that even you can get this.
Jeff Light says A and V both. Okay, thank you very much, Jeff. Massively appreciated, mate.
Thank you. What we want to do is we want to get a, if I can find one. Do you have some of the Army Painter dry brushes, the little flat ones?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're old and knackered. It's not really. It's just having the flat one.
I've got a small and I've got a large.
Okay. Have I got any of them? Where are mine all gone? I seem to have lost all mine. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter which one it is. If it's basically like a sort of a flat chisel shaped brush,
slightly angled, but yeah.
Angle for dangle. That's all right. As long as it's flat, that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's flatter than a witch's. Yeah.
Where's all my... Oh, there's mine gone. There's mine. Yeah, yours is like that, but thinner, isn't it? That's fine.
I can't see yours, mate.
That one.
Yeah, you're not on camera, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's fine. I thought I had a slightly thinner one, but
I can go bigger, but if I go bigger, it's about twice the width.
No, you don't want one bigger than that. Right. So all you need to do on this is we're going to basically we want to pop out the edges of this to make it look. Obviously, where the metal contacts the ground, it wears away. So the metal's rusty, but it's polished when it's in contact with the ground. Now, these tracks are notoriously a pain in the butt for this because there's not a lot of raised detail. You've basically got a couple of bits here.
Yeah.
And the center bit, which we're going to paint like a pad, and the edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a dry brush, but we're going to make sure we've got almost nothing on the brush, and we're going to do it in a weird way. We're going to literally just get the brush almost flat to the surface and just do that kind of thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's almost nothing. We're not going to be pushing the brush down like that. We want to try and avoid the flat part of the track. And you could, in fact, if you wanted to, you could get the brush like this and do it at that angle. I don't know if you can see that, like that.
Yeah.
So that way you get the edge in these raised bits. You might catch the edge of the bit that the rubber pad's in. So I'll just get some on the brush. But the trick to this, even if you've got spanner hands today, is to get just a tiny amount on the brush. You don't need much at all. And it's just about getting like 99% of it off more than normal.
Yeah.
So it really is like almost nothing left. And then get yourself at a funky angle like that maybe. And we're just going to try and
just brush deftly across. Yeah.
Yeah, it might take a fair bit of work because it's going to be really, really subtle.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But the idea is that it's going to be hopefully not catching on the flat part of the track, because I've always had trouble with these kind of tracks trying to get them. You do it and they end up just looking silver, and you're like,
yeah, no, you only want the little diagonal lines across the squares on the edges done.
Yeah, and the edges of it, and if you catch the little rim around the rubber bit, that's fine. The rubber shoe, that's fine. It is tricky because when you one trick I would say is when you're getting the paint off the brush, try and make sure the paint goes up the side of the brush, like I just didn't a minute ago.
Yeah,
nothing came off. I'm like, oh boy.
No, mine's just deftly skimming across it quite nicely.
Yeah, it's just starting, and that's why you want a flat brush, because it doesn't matter if you get the edge of the actual tank armor, that's fine. But you just want to. In fact, it's quite good if it gets the edge of the tank armor, because that will get.
It really is subtle, isn't it? I don't know if you can pick that out, but it's just enough.
It's because what we'll do later on, we will of course reinforce this later on, because this will get a matte varnish over the top. So when it comes to later on at the very end, we'll do like some graphite, and that will just bring it out even more.
Yeah.
So it really is just a case of very gently.
Everyone needs a graphite pencil.
Everyone needs a bosom for a pillow. Now you can do quite a lot of this to make them really bright and shiny silver if you want to.
Yeah.
You can make, because remember, it's supposed to be like metal.
Are you catching the edges of the track links themselves as well, Mush? Yeah, right. Okay, no worries. I'll go back and do them then, because I was literally just doing the diagonal strip on the pants.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, I'm catching them by default because my brush is a bit bigger. But yeah, because it's basically anywhere the track's going to be in contact with the ground, it's going to rub it clean. So
it's good enough for me, mate.
Yeah, and you can on this one you can do the bottom bit because you will see the edges underneath.
Yeah.
You can do as much as you want. You can have that silver as bright as you want it. In reality, of course, sort of rusty metal gets rubbed on the ground, it just becomes bright silver shiny. So
yeah,
it's just making sure it's not the whole track that's basically.
Yeah, this is it. You don't want to do the whole lot because you're just undoing everything you've done otherwise, isn't you?
Yeah. But the beauty of it is some tracks will get a bit more than others, and it will just make the rust look like it's faded out towards the edge.
Yeah.
As you dry brushing it very carefully, you won't see on here, but there's a track here where it's like silver in the corner and then just fades out to rust. It's not a solid rust color. So I've done one side. I'll go back and do the inside as well. So it's just a bit more targeted than regular dry brushing, but it will just add to it. Now this will all disappear when we do the earth dust and stuff, dust washes, and we do everything else. But we can come back and do it later. So
yeah,
either with Necron compound or different metallics. But
yeah, it's the one thing I must get because I've got a Necron that I need to do. So a set of Necrons.
It's what's called a dry paint. They're basically just, you'll probably know this, but they're basically just Citadel paints, but they've got like 99.99% of the liquid removed. So it's just a sticky paste.
Yeah,
and they're just designed purely for dry brushing. So it's a really nice color Necron compound. And the beauty of this is when you go around, let's say the corner here at the front, you're just catching the sort of the front of the link there.
Yeah,
just on those few where they're exposed. So it looks like all the other links are exactly the same. You just don't see that part of the other tracks, you see.
You're good, you are.
Really nicely. It is easy to go too far and make the whole track. I've spent a long time doing Leman Russes, and like 99% of the time I end up with just tracks that look silver because I've gone too far.
Oh, really?
And I've never thought of, for some reason, doing it this way before, like having my brush almost horizontal. I don't know why, because it's really flipping obvious.
Yeah, but sometimes it's one of those. Sometimes the glaringly obvious is staring you in the face, but
it's the bit you never figure out.
You don't see it, do you? You know, it's one of those.
But this is another example of in model making, like we've always said before, both Colin and I have said it. We all get to that point where we do something and you're halfway through a process and it looks like absolute balls.
Yeah.
And the thing you have to always remember is if the process isn't complete, trust the process. If you've not fully finished doing X, then when you're halfway through the process, it's going to look like absolute nonsense. But don't lose faith, basically. And when we did these tracks last week, it looks like wood. It looks like it's just brown paint. But now we're putting this dry brush on the edges, and you get it like little shine on the bits that are exposed on the corners. It suggests it's actually metal, and the brown is rust, not because there was nothing to say this is a metal track. It was just brown. When your brain just goes, well, it's just wood then, isn't it, or something? Track made entirely of poop. And it's like, nope.
You're made
now
of
you've
poop.
got this little. Thank you very much. Only the finest. Will do.
I thought I'd get that in before you said it to me because I know you was going to. You might have been, yeah. This is where it goes. Might have been. I might not have been.
So you just get, I mean, if you'll see on camera, you just get like this one here again. It just catches the light a little bit, and your brain goes, oh, it's metal. Oh, right, I get it now. It's metal with some rust in it.
Yeah.
Because you've now got some silvery bits, and it's a dirty silver because it's sheen the brown through underneath. Now, like I say, when this gets matte varnished, of course, that silver will just turn to grey.
Yeah.
And it won't be shiny, but then we can go and do this again with a different, more brighter, like steel color, perhaps.
Yeah.
A bright steel.
Like a Rumfang steel, you mean, or?
Yeah, or something like that, or Necron Compound, or one of the true metal ones. And that's when the real metallic effect pops, because then what you have is you have the rusty brown metal, you have the dull grey metal that's matte and not shiny because you've matte varnished over it.
Yeah.
And then you have the actual shiny highlight, which is the kind of graphite or whatever effect.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to do metallics. When you do something metallic, it's not always completely shiny.
No.
Some metals have dull bits and bright bits, and so it just helps give you that. If it's like grey with shiny highlights, your brain says, "Yep, it's a metal with some dull bits." There you go. It's all about tricking the eye. No, it's not the best way to do this. Probably a better way of doing these tricks, but it's jolly good fun.
Looks on about the snow. Did you have snow yesterday? I know they shut Manchester Airport at one point.
I got Mama Wolf up yesterday and came, and I said, time to get up. Also, because every morning she comes downstairs and looks at the front door and goes, it's not snowed yet. And I'm like, yeah, it's August, Mum, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But she's like, I said, it snowed. She came downstairs and went, ooh, snow. And for some reason, our driveway was covered in snow and our front garden was covered in snow. Our back garden had no snow at all.
Yeah.
And the rest of the avenue was completely snow-free.
Isn't that weird?
So all I can say is it snowed in our driveway and on our front garden. Bitterly cold, though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
How much snow did you get?
Quite a bit, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was snowing whilst we was doing the Sunday show. I said, Dave's snowing here. He said, oh, no. I said, what? He said, it means I'm going to get it later. I went, oh, yes.
See, the thing if people have to remember is that when you work from home, snow's brilliant.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. My missus is like, yeah.
I used to hate the snow when I had to go to a job of work and I had to drive or get public transport. As soon as I started working from home, I'm like, snow's the best thing ever. It's brilliant.
Yeah, those that were privileged enough to be on the Frolic and heard the dulcet tones of H would have heard me saying, message me when you get there because I will not sleep until I know you're there safe because...
Yeah, I got to hear H. Woohoo!
I know, she was laughing today. I said, he's still made up, you know. She said, oh, stop.
She sounds lovely. She sounds lovely.
Yeah.
If you get bored of her, pass her over. It's the other way around. It's going to be the other way around, isn't it, really? She gets bored of you. Yeah, I got to hear H. I can tick that off the list.
Yeah. Absolutely. I said he was complaining that he didn't see you, though. She said if he's going to complain, he won't bloody see me. Yeah. Not when you're live, she said, but if you're not on air.
That, did I didn't complain about not seeing her, did I?
Yeah.
God damn it.
So, yeah, I threw you under the bus for that one, mate.
Not even like a hand on camera.
Oh, sure, you might get a hand.
Yeah, that'll do. You need hands.
No.
Another handy tip for you, by the way. When you're doing this, when you get to the point where you've not got much paint left on your brush and you're about to reload it, at that point, you can maybe give it a quick squiz over some of the rubber pads and it might catch that little bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because then there's not enough to make everything look silver then. But if you're not sure, don't give it a go.
Yeah, what I'm doing where it comes over the front as well, I'm just doing the little leading edge of the link that's exposed, just so that it looks like it's been rubbed.
Yes, well, that's the good bit. That's what I'm saying. It's like those little bits where it shows that it just makes the rest of it look like all the other tracks are the same.
I wasn't paying attention when you said that, was I? I've given myself away.
No, you don't listen when I'm speaking, do you?
No, I zone out.
Funny buzz. I do exactly the same. Not when I'm speaking, obviously.
No.
When everybody else is speaking.
Well, like you said before, you know, you're not only discussing it with me, you're discussing it with the viewers as well. So yeah. I think I've said to you before, haven't I, was that for me, or are you telling the viewer? Because,
basically, the easiest thing for me to do is just basically do this for the viewer, and then if it's something you already know, you don't need to tell me. Just like
assume. You know, I've said you all along. You know, that's why you said earlier on about you was worried that people thought you was patronising me. They're not. This is not just for me. This is for the viewers as well to work along to. So.
And if you're a viewer and you're thinking, well, yeah, this is a basic technique, I already know this. It's like, yeah, but there might be like a younger viewer watching, or
who's never done it,
new to the hobby who's never done it.
And this could be watched in a few years' time. We don't know. Yeah,
dry brushing is an obvious technique when you know how to dry brush. So there we are. That's done. Anything else I can do at the same time? If you want to, while we're doing this, you want to, if you're feeling brave, you could give the exhausts a very, very light bash of this. But, I mean, do it when the brush is almost empty.
Yeah, whereabouts would that be? Just on the top edges?
I would say with these, kind of up and down, top to bottom.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, on top of the light orange,
Yeah, because if you do it from top to bottom, then it catches that top edge. It does catch these straps, but we can always repaint those if we need to. And if we don't, it's just that very top edge.
Yeah.
And then trying to catch the top edge there, and then at the very bottom as well, just to catch the edges. This is just
I'm with you. Yeah, happy days.
And it might also, if you really light finger, it might also catch the edges of the holes, because we can make them holes. Oh, you need holes. Again, it just makes them look a bit more metallic and less just brown. And you can do as much or as little on those as you want. But that's the trick when you're doing rusty stuff. Sometimes it's just about bringing back the little metallic touch that tells your brain it's not just a brown thing, it's a rusty thing.
Yeah.
Because even the rustiest of metal will have little clean spots where the rust has been buffed away and the metal's clean, or if there's a moving component, it'll scrape the rust off and you get the clean metal. So
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Right, so that's that done. You take your time with yours. How are you getting on?
All right, mate. Yeah, look. I don't know if you can see.
I'm on potato cam, so.
Oh, right, but.
I can watch back. The audience will be able to tell you.
But yeah, happy with that.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of this technique. Of course, I've said to go minimal and just make it very subtle, but you could go heavier with it, and just make it like it would just basically you'd just be fading the rust into. You'd be making the rust less obvious then.
Take note, folks. This is the day when you saw Festa doing something subtle.
I know.
It has been known.
Mind you, you've done chipping so far, and that's subtle. That's always subtle. That's that done. Right. What I shall do, I shall very quickly go and change my water out because it's covered in metallic flakes now. I shall be 1 moment. I'll leave the microphone on. 1 sec.
No worries, mate. Paul J. Lewis, belly update. He says Big Mac. Shut up. He says Big Mac with large fries and large chocolate milkshake falling into his gob right now. His bench is still empty and his beverage is as above. There you go. Happy days. That's a good belly, mate.
And I'm back.
John Alex, Scale Modelling is in, says hello again. Hello, mate.
Hello, buddy. I have ordered. Okay.
Darren Edmonds says, you're made of poop. The most brilliantly childish thing I have heard in a long time. Absolutely. It could have been worse. I could have said, Fox, you're made of plop.
Oh, poo-poo.
Yeah.
This is my favorite kind of arguments, and it's like me and my friends do it all the time, is where somebody will say something and it'll be like, whatever, and whatever they've said, I'll say, you're made of that.
Yeah.
And they'll say, no, you're made of that. And then I'll go, no, you're ridiculous. The way to end it is to say, no, you're ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
It's an old joke.
You're more ridiculous times 10.
You're made of ridiculous times 10.
Absolutely.
You can always bring it back. But it was a thing we started because one of my friends, for some stupid reason, was watching America's Got Talent because
they
were drugged and strapped into a chair or something. I don't know. And they were doing somebody, and he was some real bad singer, and Simon Cowell said, "You're ridiculous," and the guy was like, "No, you're ridiculous."
Oh, good
and
man.
Simon Cowell was like, "I can't come back from that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is now how all our arguments must proceed."
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, I really fancy a cup of tea. You're a cup of tea. No, you're ridiculous. Oh, I can't come back from that.
It's like you'd see a tramp in a gnarly old suit, and your mate would go, "See that tramp over there in the suit?" Go, "Yeah, that's your dad. That is." It's like, oh, no, what can you can't come back from it, can you? It's like, yeah. Goes, yeah, but he's been with your mum. And it's like, yeah. Oh, they're not being childish.
Yeah, being a kid's the best thing. Who wants to be an adult?
I tried being an adult. It lasted for a couple of hours. I didn't like it, so.
Yeah. It's like me. I went outside once, but the graphics were rubbish, so.
Yeah.
Right, so once that's done,
yeah,
we can get back to doing the tracks.
Trackpads.
Trackpads. Not man pads. I really hate that word man pad, you know.
You're a man
for a
pad.
portable anti-aircraft thing. Because it's like, it sounds like a specialist product for people.
Sounds like a tenor pad for a man.
Yeah, for people that need intercontinental trousers, it's just like
see-through +4s.
Yeah. Right, so we'll get back on with doing these rubber grips, rubber pads.
Yeah. Stefan Last is in, says, "Good evening, Gladys and Dirk, gentlemen." Absolutely. Yeah, we are being 5-year-olds again, Stefan, so there's no change there, mate.
Yeah. What do you mean again?
Yeah, we like being 5-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. So we'll just go through. And what I'll probably say is, if you go around all the pads, by the time you get to the last one, you can go back and start the other ones again.
Oh, yeah, because they should be dry.
Yeah, it won't take long to dry. Are you going to bother with the bottom ones? I don't think I am.
I'll probably stop with the bottom ones because it's like, yeah.
Although, to be fair, the bottom ones do make a good sort of test pig.
Yeah, it's one of them, innit? I mean, we're doing it, so it's one of them, innit? Yeah, is it going to bother us knowing that we haven't done them? I think it will.
No. Yeah, probably.
Because we are a bit OCD, aren't we? Let's just, yeah.
But like I say, we can use them as a test bed as well, so we may as well.
Yeah.
Get them done. Doesn't take long. It's only a minute.
It's easy enough. There's a theme to my live streams this weekend, folks. You may have noticed I'm doing a lot of tracks.
Yeah, I noticed this. I thought the theme couldn't be asked.
You must admit, though, you was proud that I didn't swear once putting them tracks together. I've been really good with them.
I now understand how those tracks go together, and it's really clever.
I find it so therapeutic. It's mad, isn't it? Even though I was having a bit of a bout of Edward Spanner-hands today, I persevered and still got them done.
Mm-hmm. Handy tip, folks: if you are painting little raised, a little raised detail like these pads, instead of stabbing it with the paintbrush, what you can do is either go that way or that way. Get the brush almost flat and just push it down flat on the surface. Because one thing a lot of people don't realize you can do with the brush is squash it flat, and it widens the brush.
Yeah.
And if you keep the pressure exactly the same, it stays at the same width. And it's a really good way of doing things like this, painting subtle raised details, and also a really good way to paint reasonable straight lines as well, by using the width of the brush. Painting up against edges is another way you can use that. So it's not about stabbing it. It's about, a lot of painting is like push, squish and drag, squish and drag. I was doing it this way before, but I've suddenly realized that this way is actually faster. So
yeah,
squish and drag.
Absolutely.
It also means you get less brush marks as well. This may not be the best colour, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
You don't want it sticking out like a blind cobbler's thumb, do you?
No, but like I say, if we did just paint it like a dark grey, then it's like, well, how do we start making it look like rubber and not just black?
Exactly.
So this is what we can do. We want to hide the edges, and that's where the wash will come in later, and that will also hopefully darken it down a bit, make it look more like rubber.
Yeah, make it look rubbery. See what I did?
I see what you did there. Rubbery.
Yeah, you want me to stop, don't you? Yeah, I know.
No, never stop, Cole. Now you could just paint it a dark color like Dark Reaper or something like that, which is a nice, or Eshin grey. But then what you'd have to do, because you're painting it the rubber color, is you would either have to paint all the edges of each pad to make them dark as well and not shiny metallic, or you'd have to go and do an edge highlight on each of them.
Yeah.
So they've got a light area and a dark area. What I'm going to do is avoid all that because I'm a lazy git.
Oh yeah, there's method to your madness, isn't there, mate?
I'm all about trying to do things the easiest way possible. Long, complicated process? Yeah, screw that. Anyway, what's your bench and belly for today, buddy?
Belly, I've had a couple of me brekkie bar things.
Ooh.
Copious amounts of tea and orange and that, and I've got a nice bit of roast lamb later.
Roast lamb.
Sunday roast with all the trimmings. She's putting up the Crimbo tree at the moment because she's decided this year she wants to put a Christmas tree up. So
Mama Wolf says to me yesterday, because we've got the Christmas tree. We had the Christmas tree that was basically installed for like the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And then when Mama Wolf took ill and I had to make space for things like, bits of furniture she might need, and we're like, right, we'll have to get rid of the Christmas tree now because I need that to put things like, carrying trolleys and frames and stuff for you. And I was like, yes, finally got rid of that bloody tree. It's a pain in the bum. Because I wanted to put some cabinets in the corner. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then when she was home for about 3 months, she went and bought a load of Christmas trees. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So we got a tree again. But she looked at it last night and she's like, we're going to need to pull the tree out soon. I said, no, we plug it in and turn it on. That's what we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't pull it out anyway. She went, yeah, we pull it out. I said, no, it turns on. It lights up. That's the end of it.
Yeah. It stays where it is. Them 2 cabinets that I want to put there.
Yeah. They're not happening.
She's brilliant. She is.
Well, she bought one for the front room and one for the top of the middle landing on the stairs. She's 83 and she struggles up the stairs and she wants to put a small Christmas tree on one of the landings.
Yeah. My H did that. She bought a big double bookcase to go on the stairs. And I said, so I've got to take my grab rails down that I need to keep me upright, put bookcases. She went, oh, damn, I didn't think of that. It's all right. Yeah. I said, I'll just grab the bookcase. I don't mind.
The advantage I had was that luckily Mama Wolf had no memory of actually buying that second tree. So a month later, I just took it to the tip.
Oh, good man.
I was like, yeah, I don't need to have a tree on the landing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. She's going to realise, oh, I couldn't find the tree, so I've ordered a new one. Damn it.
Yeah. Which is like, well, it's really tall and thin. And I'm looking at it thinking, yeah, it's not. It's just you have no understanding of numbers on Amazon, do you? Yeah. Also, please stop blocking the camera, Fox. That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, Mum, stop making these late night purchases. My boy did that. He was drunk one night when he come home and he decided to go on eBay. Ugh. And he ended up with a wood burning set, one of these engraved and burnt wood and a violin.
Yep. And a violin.
Yeah.
Well, that's my friend used to do that occasionally. He realised at one point he kept buying all this crap on eBay when he was drunk and he says, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I can't be the only person that goes onto eBay drunk and buys crap.
Yeah.
So he put up for sale. He got a can of beer and he drank the beer and then he's put up for sale a haunted beer can.
Yeah.
It's basically his beer can with no beer in it. And he said it was haunted.
Yeah.
And he put it on eBay in the hope that someone would drunk buy it. And somebody paid like 75 quid for this haunted beer. It was just a beer can.
Yeah.
It's an empty used beer can. Like
people will buy anything on eBay.
Yeah, and he was like, I could make some money out of this. And he did for a while. He used to sell all kinds of random crap, but make it like give it an amusing description.
Yeah.
They end up sort of cutting down on stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a haunted beer can. I said, you, sir, are just a goddamn genius.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Just think of the fun you could have, though, with eBay. I like that. That's subtle. Do the other side now, come.
By the way, if anyone's talking of eBay,
yeah,
I'm going with this. If anyone's interested,
good segue.
My fully built and painted, unique, one of a kind Forge World Macarius Vanquisher, painted up as a Deathcore of Krieg vehicle, is available on eBay. There is a pinned post at the top of the Boom Hut, facebook.com/groups/model Boom Hut, if you wish to purchase it.
That is a brilliant segue. I am so impressed with that.
I thank you. If you want a Deathcore of Krieg Macarius Vanquisher with two cannon on it, it's a double barrel tank. Get in. I think it's green. In a green color scheme. I can't quite remember.
I think it is. I was looking at it the other day.
It's very good fun to paint that. I've got a really stiff neck today. I don't know why. I'm having to look around the camera. It's not doing me any favours. Right, so I'll probably have a couple of coats on these.
Andy McLeish, belly 1. Tesco pigs under blankets, basically sausages, bacon, and sage and onion stuffing. Bar of chocolate, bottle of Coca-Cola, and a mug of coffee. Belly 2 is going to be mashed potato, mashed turnip, and haggis. Oh, good. Belly.
That's basically neeps and tatties with haggis. Oh.
Kevin Stevens has got a belly of bed. He says, first of all, he says, evening, Fox and Colin. Beverage, coffee, belly, cold sliced lamb with jacket potato. Oh, nice. Belly, still nothing as he's sorting out his man cave. I know, mate. And what a wonderful, wonderful cave it's going to be when it's done, mate.
Is that the shed that's been built?
No, this is in the house. This is.
Is that the one that's got like a little bit to the side? And
do you remember the fellow that had all the computer stuff that I showed on the gallery last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Kev. Yeah, Kevin and Jackie. Oh, Jackie made you your Fox.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to remember. There's somebody else who's like building a
yeah, he built a big shed in his garden that originally was going to be, but he's decided to stay indoors, which is probably the safest option, to be honest with you. It's warmer in it.
Because spiders.
And not only that, especially with the cost of living at the moment, heating and electricity for man caves in sheds, you've got to think about that now, haven't you?
And that's the thing. That's the thing that I always wonder is all these people that have got these sheds made into man caves. It's like, yeah, but in the middle of the winter, when you go, you leave, if you're not in there for a day or two, everything in there is going to be icy frozen. All your paint's going to be solid.
Yeah, I used to work out there, but it was H that insisted I came back in. Because if I had a fall going to the shed, I would have been out in the cold, wouldn't I, type of thing. And it just worried her going out to work overnight. If I had a fall, I'd be, laying out in. Yeah. So she was like, use the old utility room now that the extension's done. Her kitchen got extended, so all her wet wall, her appliances and that are all out there. She said, I'd feel much happier if you was indoors. If you have a fall indoors, at least you're in the warm.
Yeah. That's the thing I never got. It's like, do you have to keep your shed heated? Do you have to build it into the central heating system?
Well, I used to pull all the paints out in the winter so that they was, and I'd have them in the appropriate pots, carry cases, but yeah.
But then the difficulty then is that puts you off going out to the man cave in the winter because you're like, I can't be bothered taking all the paints out again.
Well, yeah, trying to apply paint in the winter was a dog, if I'm honest. You know, you had to have all the radiator, the electric heaters on out there. And it's far easier in here.
Yeah, seems like an impractical nonsense to me. Right, I've got a couple of coats of grey on those, so I shall be happy with that. How you getting on with yours?
I'm doing all right, mate. I'm off shot at the moment because I've got it upside down. Resting backwards on my hand because I've got me shakes. So it's easier for me just to
do what you need to do.
Drag that towards me rather than twitch on them ones.
So I've got them painted up. You can't see on camera. Do keep in mind, by the way, folks, that the colours you're seeing on camera don't really look anything like real life. They're either much brighter or much more bleached, and they're a lot more contrasty.
Yeah.
But we've got basically the middle of the track there is now got this kind of grey colour, and you can see, hopefully you can see on mine that kind of metallic effect on the tracks and on Collins as well. I can't see Collins, but you get the idea.
I'm getting there. I've just got the second coat to put on the other track, which I'm working my way around now.
Take your time. So hopefully you can see now they look less like fitted wooden kitchen shells, and they start to look a bit more like metal tracks. We've got more to do. When we do the weathering, of course, we'll be adding dirt to these with enamel washers for dust and dirt. So we're going to see how that works out. But we've got the next step for this will be some Nuln oil.
Get your Nuln oil out.
I'm shaking my Nuln. That's what
that sounds so wrong.
Get your Nuln out. Got the Nuln on that.
God, it's got some Nulns in it.
Oh, it's a nice pair of Nulns.
Get your Nulns out for the lads.
My bench and belly is this, and then when I finish this, I'm working on my Orc Big Track, which I've failed to get any progress on this week. Yeah. And then unfortunately, I just got a load of my birthday present kits turned up, and now I don't want to build anything.
I know you're all excited, ain't you?
Yeah, I just got started on the Orc Big Track, and now I've got a lot of other things I just want to buy a build instead. It's like, oh.
Did I tell you that my Christmas gift from Foxx has arrived?
Has your Christmas gift from Foxx arrived?
Yeah, I've got it already,
Nice,
mate. It's sat just there, mate.
Tart.
You're not bitter, are you?
If you don't know, I ordered myself something as a birthday present because people says to me, I don't know what to get you. Here's a budget. Go and buy yourself things on Warhammer. So I was like, okay. So that was most of my birthday presents where people just said, go and buy yourself something because I don't know. It's the advantage, you see. Always get what I want. And I went on to somewhere and ordered something for myself. I'm not saying where. It might not even be Warhammer.
And this has happened before as well, hasn't it? When we've ordered stuff.
People are giving me money, so I've gone to buy things. I'm not saying what it is or where I've got it from. I'm not even saying if it's Warhammer or not. But basically, I've ordered something for myself, and then I thought, Col would love that. He'd really love that. I'm going to get him one for Christmas. So the next day, I ummed and ahed. Then I thought, you know what? I'll buy one of them. I'll buy it for Col for Christmas with my own money, not with money I was given for my birthday. So I ordered it, and it's happened again. I ordered mine first, and then his the next day. His has already arrived, and mine's not turned up yet.
And you live near.
I know. No, you live like 5 minutes away from Nottingham. I'm thousands of miles away. So this happened before. We both ordered something at the same time, and he gets stuff from games.
I'm miles away from Nottingham.
You are, but I think I'm there.
Yeah.
Well, then again,
I'm right down the south, ain't I? Basingstoke. I'm not much north. I'm only a bit north from Portsmouth.
But then again, I suppose I'm not saying where this one is from, you see, so it might not be Nottingham. But it's the same situation as like Games Workshop. It was he ordered something and he got it first.
Not that I've been mocking him, but I might have been taking photographs of my box sat right next to me. That sounded wrong.
You keep sending pictures of his box to me, and I don't want to see that kind of thing.
Yeah, not that box, the cardboard box. So let's just clarify.
Living in the cardboard box.
Oh my God, you didn't just... No. You did, didn't you?
What, big fish, little fish cardboard box?
You just sung living in a box.
Living in a box. Living in a cardboard box.
Yeah, another good record for Darren Edmonds, by the way, is Toast.
A little bit of toast. That's the only bit of that song I know.
Could you imagine doing it in the voice? A little bit of toast. A little bit of toast. I've got my pads out. Look at them. Whoa.
Ooh, looking very nice. Are they looking a bit more metallurgy for you now?
Yeah. Subtle.
Yeah. Subtle.
Yeah.
Anyway, belly tonight will be, I don't know. We didn't have the fish and chips I was supposed to have last night because I couldn't be bothered making stuff, so we had curry instead. So it might be fish and chips again tonight. Homemade fish and chips.
Eon's car says, right, he's going to go and watch something with his mum. Catch you later. No worries, mate.
See you later, Eons. What we'll have to do is make sure we get his mum on the show, then he can watch something with his mum.
Yeah. McLeish is really act off as once again, he says, my car has decided to make a fault in winter, causing coolant to go everywhere. This is the time of year it happens, mate.
Is that because of like ineffective antifreeze or not enough antifreeze?
Sometimes you can put a nice fresh mix in, and anywhere that's got a weakness or a leaky tube or a perishing tube, it will spring a leak. It's a bit like putting something like Fernox in an old central heating system. If you've got a slightly rusty join in your copper piping or in your immersion, it will find it and it will spring a leak in your tank.
No.
How do I know this? Because when I moved in this house, I put a litre of Fernox in the heating system and it ate through the tank.
Then they had to rebuild the entire house?
And then it flooded and the ceiling came down in the hallway below and
Paul Lewis says, if you popped into the hangout now and again, Fox, you'd know who these lovely people are. Wait, what? What are we talking about? Who don't I know? What? What did I say? Did I say I didn't know someone? What?
Yeah.
What did I say? I don't know.
I don't know, mate.
I don't know. Did I say something?
Oh, no, it was when he was asking about Kev. Kev's in the Zoom.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, he knows who Kev is.
I couldn't remember which his man cave was because there's several of them on the go at the minute in the booth not being posted up. So, where are you from, Fox? Says Matthew. I'm up Manchester way. He says, being specific.
Yeah, in that area of the country.
Technically Cheshire. technically checked.
Jackie says Portsmouth's about 40 miles to the west of us. Yeah, I'm in Basingstoke, which, you know, you've got Portsmouth, Southampton, Winchester, Basingstoke, Newbury, Banbury, Oxford, all the way up. So Nottingham, for me, is nearer to you than it is to me. That's if it was from Nottingham.
Clearing my throat there. It's the coolant hose perished 2 weeks ago, and I got a new one fitted, and it's when and vented the coolant all over the place.
Oh.
I think the clip slipped, but I'm going to get it looked at tomorrow. Oh, the clip slipped. Nothing worse than a slipped clip.
Yeah. What I used to do on all mine on the coolant systems, I just put a little smear of Vaseline around the inside of the hose before I put it on.
Hose.
And then put the clip on, and then that way, if there was a little bit of a splurge, yeah.
Do you know what I do with my coolant system?
Keep it cool.
I go like this.
Why did I know that was coming?
That fixes everything. It's like when I do my hair drying on like paint. If I do a beatbox when I do it, it makes it dry faster. Who's mailing me now? Games Workshop. No, never mind. Right.
Yeah. Well, you've left this in your basket. Would you like it?
I hate the way they do that. I went on the other day and it was like, I loaded the page and I scrolled down once and it said, oh, you've been here a while. Do you need some help? I was like, I've literally been here for like 15 seconds.
I have it where I put paints in baskets during the month so that I know when I get a paint, and it's like, oh, you aware that you've let? Yeah, I do it every bloody month. Leave me alone.
It's just an automated thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, really?
Right. Go carry on.
No, you carry on, mate.
I'm going to do a burp. It's there.
Darren Edmonds says, I am immune from your shenanigans today, Festa, as I have Jonah Louis. You will always find him in the kitchen at parties, stuck in my head. Oh, Stop the Cavalry. Yeah, you can have another one if you want. Paul McCartney, Pipes of Peace. You know, you want that in your head. Or the Frog Chorus.
Bom, bom, bom.
Bom. There you go.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah, look. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, looking good. Right, the next step is dead easy. But if you want to do a test one on the bottom bit first, you can do. We need to basically go over these pads with a denol oil.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I've got to shake me. No. Yeah.
Shake your shades. Always shake your shades. And all we're going to do is we're going to get the normal oil generously. And we're just going to blop it over it. I can't really see because I've got my thing in the way. Hang on. Let me do it on a top pad.
Are we going for a large bloppage with the brush, or are we doing multiple layers of known?
Go for a bloppage. I'm going to use a normal sort of medium layer brush. You don't want a big brush. But
yeah, no worries.
What I want to do, I want to have a generous amount on the brush, but not too much.
Pardon me.
And I'm going to basically run it over the pad and get it around the edge of the pad as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm only running it in one simple movement, like that. And it's just the capillary action is going around the edge of it. It goes into that edge of the pad and fills it in. And also, it then makes the center of the pad darker, but it leaves a lighter ridge.
So you're not wicking it off then, no?
No.
No, okay. See, so, proper terminology and everything on here, folks, don't you?
You want to make sure the brush goes over the edges.
Yeah.
And then if you just dot it on the top a few times, we'll have to like do a few on the top and let it dry and then move it around and turn it over.
Yeah.
And what you should have is a nice pool of a nice sort of bit of normal oil in the middle of the
pad, I'm with you.
And the little grey line around the edge because it's got the surface tension means it doesn't quite collect around the edge of the pad. But it's also going around the sides of the pad, which is the important bit.
Yeah.
Because then it makes the side of the pad look like it's made of rubber as well as and not just rusty metal. So you can let the brush go over the edges because it'll pull back to the edge anyway. And it will fade out a little bit when it dries. But this is a slow process now because we have to do the top bit and then let gravity do its work in the center of the pad and then let that dry. So we need to do all the horizontal ones first, then turn it over and do all the 45-degree ones. And after that's dried. So we can't do the whole track in one go here, unfortunately. This might not work, but it's just I've been thinking a lot about how the best, different ways to use shades lately, and I've always known that doing shades makes a nice rubber effect color.
Yeah.
But as long as you make sure it's horizontal, then it'll be nice and level. You'll have a nice rectangle in the middle of your pad, and it'll take a couple of coats. But what we'll hopefully have by the end of it is a dark coloured pad that remotely looks like rubber, completely made of rubber.
Yeah.
With a little highlight. We won't have to edge highlight it because it's the null oil's naturally doing that. I don't know if people can see. I'll see if I can. Unfortunately, all you're going to see on mine is the actual beam glare from the lights, but I'll see if I can zoom in a bit. People can see. Oh, I'm already zoomed in. You spin.
That'll be why then. You're still zoomed in from Friday, aren't you?
No, from earlier. So hopefully you can see on those pads there, the null oil is in the middle of the pad and it pulls back from the edges, so you get this little highlight edge around the edge.
Yeah.
Now it will fade away. It'll fade when that dries, but that's fine. Take a couple of coats, but that edge will always be there, and I like to take advantage of that, the way shades do that.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Looks like the black keys on a piano.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good idea. That's a good analogy, actually. It's the same kind of thing I do when I'm painting, say, like a display screen. I'll put it horizontal and I'll get some periscope green, which is an ammo by mid green color. It's like a very thick shade, and I'll block that into the middle, and it will pull away. It'll pull towards the edges and be nice and dark green, but as it gets towards the center, it'll be a bit lighter. Or it might, if it's convex, if it's concave, it'll be the other way around. But you just get this nice bit of shading.
Darren Edmonds says he's deliberately infected himself with some Festa earworms. Good man.
Good lad. I'm sitting here waiting. I could do the other side, couldn't I?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I did one side and then stopped. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I? But so the reason we didn't paint these dark grey, as you can see now, a couple of coats of this null oil and this light grey colour will end up looking like a sort of rubbery black. But we'll keep that highlight, and it also means we can paint the vertical edges, the sides, with the shade, and not have to physically paint a microscopic vertical edge because they're raised up from the surface. So
yeah,
there's no way you could easily paint that. Being really slow.
Andy says Evans hamster dance, and he's going, I'm immune.
People may not know this, but I actually did a hamster dance song. I am prepared to put a link to it in chat. I never put it in my public domain thing because it uses the Disney's the clip of the singing rooster from Disney's Robin Hood, which is where that thing comes from.
Yeah.
But I did do it. Do people want me to put a link to it in chat? I can put a link to Google Drive and use it. It's like 4 minutes long. It's called Hamster Dance 99 Dog Mix.
Yeah.
It's a dance. You know what? I'm going to do it.
Do it. I know another thing. I know another thing you should do at Christmas.
Go on then.
You should do a special Christmas weavy.
Oh, I need to do an Uncle Weavy, don't I?
You know that makes sense, don't you?
Yeah, I do need to give the internet more Uncle Weavy. It needs to happen.
Yeah.
Right, where is it? Public domain, library.
By all means, you can blame me for that, folks.
Please tell me I put it on the Google Drive. Oh, I don't know if I did. Fudge, I've got to load it now. Let me add it to Google Drive.
If you're struggling for Google Drive space, just say because I've got 100 gigabytes.
No, I've got to find it. Where the hell I put it? Yes, I know that off the top of my head because I spent hours listening to it when I was recording this. Where is it? Hamster Dance. Where is Hamster Dance? It's got to be here somewhere.
Clean that off and let the brush. McLeish says 2 bellies, slippy clip.
I can't find it.
Brush. Dry.
How many times have you had to go on your PC and see?
Yeah, Andy says, still each year without fail, something effing happens to his car. Yeah. Always the way, mate. My missus had the coil packs go on her Clio. And it's like, really? She, it's a pain in the backside. There's always something.
I'm just going to turn my microphone off briefly while I test that this is the right piece of music.
Yeah, you go for it, mate. Yeah, you're not that far from me, are you, Jackie? A couple of counties over, if I remember rightly.
There we go. Right, I'm uploading it to Google Drive now. For some reason, it's in a folder of music. Then I did a load of like Bach on Moog synthesizer, and I put it in there for some weird reason. So
yeah,
uploading it to Google Drive now.
Oh, you're good. You are.
God,
that sounds like Cotton Eye Joe, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an old thing. Now I'm noticing here as this black is fading away, they're just kind of it's losing that. It's becoming very subtle, the little highlight around the edge, but it's still there just about.
Yeah.
As we do more, hopefully it will become more obvious, and it'll look like the micrometer thick highlight that you've painted by hand, and everybody be impressed.
Everyone's going to be so impressed, thinking, "God, how did you paint them with your twitches?" And I go, "Well, you know, many hours of pain and gain went into that."
Yeah. Now the downside is this is going to take us ages to do this because we have to do it a section at a time. So yeah, this might be the rest of the stream just dotting on.
Well, would it pay to let this dry and keep coating just that top section then?
What people can see, and then
so people can see what the end result will be, and then we can do the rest of them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Bit by bit, because when they go off, we can just tilt it, have that bit, and then do the same.
Tilt.
Just do it in sections, so when this is dried off, go back over it if we need to.
And then we do the rest of it offline.
It's up to you, mate. Yeah, at least people get to see the effect, don't they?
Yeah, we can do that, because then it just means, you know, we can do this bit, like you say. They can see it, and then we can...
Did I just come up with a sensible suggestion?
You did? Are you not well?
Hell. I'm clearly ill.
Right, I'm going to put a link into chat. Get link. Anyone with the link, copy link. Right. Now I have to stress this very, very importantly. This is not to be sold. Do not use this music in a YouTube video. You'll get a copyright strike. It's the singing bit is copyright Disney from the Robin Hood movie. So don't use it anywhere. Don't sell it. But you can do what you want. I'm just giving it away free, so it doesn't matter. Right, I need to go into Electric Avenue.
See what you did there. I'm sure what you did. Whilst you're doing that, Muse is in, saying hello to everyone. Said my net has been a total tart today. Finally here. Good for you, Marcy.
Hey, Net. Marcy. Hey, Net. What am I talking about?
McLeish says, did Festa have a gasp? A good idea. I did, mate. It was sensational.
I see what we did there.
Good, wasn't it?
Here's the link.
PJ's hugging Marcy. Yeah, AJ's calling PJ a Burke.
Burke. I love that word, Burke. It's the best word in the world.
Burke. Yeah, it's rhyming slang, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Is it? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Burke. I'll give you the rhyming slang. Berkeley Hunt.
Oh, I've got you. I didn't realise it had that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a derogatory term for a lady front garden.
Oh, I thought it was just
it's
non-offensive.
No, it's after Berkeley Hunt, mate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How we learn many things.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a link in chat there. Amsterdam's 99 Dog Mix. Download it, listen to it, do what you want with it. Do not sell it. Do not use it in anything like on YouTube because it's got copyright stuff in it, and your channel would be kicked in the ass.
Do not collect 200 quid when you're passing go because you will be shot at dawn.
Anyone using copyrighted Disney stuff in something they're going to monetize is an idiot. So don't do that.
Oh, you get crucified.
That's why I never made it available on YouTube. Even though I was going to do it public domain, it's still, I don't want to take any risk. So that was never been released.
McLeish is laughing. He said, laugh out loud, Fox. That's funny. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just gone for about 6 minutes. I was trying to do like a nice dancey tune, but what I realized was, right, I could sit there and write the most ornate of symphonic and electronica, Vangelis style, and that's dead easy to me. But writing simple dance tunes was the hardest thing ever, and it's not very good at all. That's great, says Muse. It's not very good at all in terms of dance music. It just goes on too long, and it's not very good. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but can you do the dad dance to it?
I did. I've got the animated GIF, but I can't put it in chat.
Yeah.
I actually have to go. I deliberately went a few months ago to try and find the hamster dance GIF.
Yeah.
Right,
makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, I'm not going to hairdryer this, and I don't recommend you do either.
Yeah.
Because we are depending on the surface tension of the shade to pull away from the edges and leave us with that little highlight edge.
Yeah.
If you hairdryer it, it can flatten the liquid out and it loses that effect.
No, it's best to let it dry au natural, isn't it?
Yeah. So this situation, you want to make sure you dry it by itself naturally. Now, the technique I'm using here with this black shade to make it look like it's got a highlighted edge.
Yeah.
When I do things like las guns and bolters and weapons where you've got a silver weapon with a black casing, I sometimes use this technique as the null oil and there as well, because again, you paint the casing of the weapon after about 4 or 5 or 6 coats of null oil, it looks black, but the edges are like they're lighter and they've got a metallic hint to them.
Yeah.
So it looks like a black thing that's got the metal, and it's just a simpler way of doing it again. Techno Viking approved, says McLeish. McLeish says, so would that make Burke from Track Door the same?
Yeah.
Burke! Yeah, do what you want with that Amsterdam stuff. Just don't use it anywhere that you're going to make money on it. Hairdryer might also make it super shiny. Yeah, it can do. But that doesn't really matter because it'll get back varnish later. But it's more about the way it sits on those track pads. Track pads! Robots in disguise. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And it's really weird, you know, now we're doing these bits. Have you noticed when we first did these tracks, they looked brown, like really dark brown, darkness. Now we've put the metal dry brushing and started these pads. It looks like really light rusting. It's the way it's kind of, you think you've gone too far, but when you do the rest of the stuff on top, it pulls it all back.
Yeah, it works a treat though, doesn't it?
Yeah. So what was heavy brown, like it looks like it was made of rust, now it just looks like it's a little bit corroded.
You're heavy brown.
Heavy brown in my eye.
He's heavy brown like old peas.
Heavy brown.
Just shut my nose.
I can see space up your nose. That better be a pea up your nose.
I like peas. I was a pea once.
You're made of peas. So now they look like metal tracks. I'm quite pleased with how it's come out.
Getting there, isn't it? Yeah.
It's still a technique that I'm learning as well. So let me just mute you for a minute while I take in the sonic treasures that have been, I can't see it, bestowed upon us.
You take it in, Stefan. You enjoy, mate.
Darren Edmonds says, bollocks, now Fox has got me.
Yeah. See, never trust your Uncle Fox and your Uncle Festa when we put links in chats, peeps.
Always trust
you think they would learn, wouldn't you, mate?
Yeah, it's like me saying, go and film you doing this thing you're not supposed to do. You think
people wouldn't fall for it, especially twice.
Yeah, twice is just, you know, hey.
Yeah, it's like,
Muse is eating butter biscuits. I don't know what they are, but they sound great. Is that like shortcake?
Oh, shortcake.
Scottish shortcake, whatever it is. Shortbread. I'm blowing on my pads. So again, they do look like you've lost that little highlight because the center bit looks less dark. But again, it's like I said before, you got to trust in the process.
Yeah, but I can see it. I can see the dark. I can see the edge. It looks like it's been edge highlighted.
Oh, hello! I'm getting pinged by Mama Wolf. 1 second.
No worries, mate. Muse says my macaw is dancing to it. Oh, even better, Marcy. Is it doing the old? I don't know why I'm doing the pigeon head to camera because you can't see me. What pillock I am. But is it doing the old bobbing head and all? Oh, bless her. Yeah, Andy McLeish goes, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Andy says, what's that? Techno Viking approved. There you go. You says, air dryer might also make it super shiny. Yeah, that can happen, can't it? I'm trying to think what I had that on. I think it was Agrax Earthshade, Marcy. It did it on mine, and I had to put a bit of Lamia medium over it. Marcy says, almost like shortcake. It's super thin and crispy, though. Oh.
Back again. Hello.
Oh, no. Is Mum all right, mate?
Yeah. She's got the little pinger. She pings me to let me know she needs something, and she never uses it.
Yeah.
Like when in to go to bed. Or very occasionally it'll be like ping, and I'll be going, and she'll be like, I'm feeling sick. I need the bowl, or I'm going to bed, or something like that. So I'm like, oh God. So I went downstairs. Oh, please don't be sick. You've just come out and being sick. And she sat there with her iPad reading. She's like, can I have curry rice and chips? I'm like, yeah, but not right now. Not right now with me being in the middle of a live stream. She went, oh, I forgot.
Oh, love her art. Even though she came in and said to me, hello, and you said, take your headphones off, you'll hear him, and she didn't. Yeah. Oh,
before we went
bless
live,
her.
Before we went live, me and Festa were sat here, and Mama Wolf came upstairs to go to the loo, and she's got headphones on because she listens to TV with headphones, because otherwise the entire avenue would listen to her TV. So I'm putting my socks on, sorry. She's got her headphones on, and she has this habit of like not taking them off when she's talking to you, and then she can't hear you. So I unplug my earpiece, turn my speakers all the way up, and says to Mama Wolf, right, you say hello to Colin, I'll turn the speakers up for you. So she says hello, and Colin says hello back, and I says, can you hear him? She went, yeah. And then Colin asked her something, and she looked at me and went, huh? You can't hear him, can you? No.
Yeah.
So why did you say you can hear him?
Brilliant, she is. But I got to hear a Mama Fox or Mama Wolf burp, so.
Yeah. Although you missed out on the big one she did as she was going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, she has this thing, if she'll sit there and you'll walk in and she'll ask you a question and you'll answer, and she'll look at you like this gormless look, and you'll be like,
oh, she is brilliant, folks. She really is.
Take your headphones off. You can ask me a question. Take your headphones off.
She's got you coiled up like a spring, mate. She knows she's got you, mate. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
Can I have curry rice?
Can I have curry rice and chips?
It's brilliant.
There's me going down the stairs saying, please don't be sick. Please don't be sick.
Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, in panic mode. Oh, that is gold.
I don't want to have to stop another live stream.
Now, Mama Wolf is now, she's earned Festa's legendary status, mate.
Yeah.
Bless her.
I was going down, and as I came down the stairs, I was expecting to see her sat there on the little couch, like leaning forward, look at the table, because when she's been poorly before, she just kind of sits there as if she's ready to go upstairs.
So I've just looked up and realised you're putting a second coat on. Shall I put a second coat on, dear?
Go for a second coat, dear.
Cheers, mate. Sorry to interrupt you there. I thought I better look up, and I was like, he's sod, he's painting his second coat. Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
we're going to do that.
You probably did say we was going to do that, and I weren't paying attention, was I?
I didn't know when your paint was dry. Excuse me. So yes. So I guess we're having Chinese for dinner tonight then.
Yeah. Oh, that is gold, mate. Gotta love her. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, bless. It's nice that she's feeling a bit better, though, mate.
It's like the other day, because her memory sometimes isn't great, but she jokes about it. But the other day I said, right, we're having something for dinner, some takeaway. And I said, okay, right. I went downstairs and said, what do you want? And whatever she wanted. So I came upstairs, placed the order. I went downstairs and says, right, food's been ordered. Should be with us in about half an hour. She went, brilliant. Food turned up. And she'd had like 3 mouthfuls and was like, oh, I'm not really hungry now. Yeah. I said, why? She said, well, I had a load of biscuits. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And turns out I told her the food was coming. She said, right. And the 5 minutes later, she's opening the biscuit tin.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I tell you the food's being delivered in half an hour, don't go into the biscuit barrel and eat all the biscuits.
Oh, she's brilliant.
I forgot. So it's funny now, if I say there's food being ordered and on the way, if I even begin to hear the biscuit barrels rattle, I'm downstairs, and I walked downstairs, picked up a pile of biscuits, put them back in the tin and said, food is on the way. She gave me a look like,
yeah, it's like, no. Not when she got up with it. Why am I up this early? Brilliant.
But I like the fact now that if I go downstairs and she's got like half a cup of tea left and she says, it's gone cold, don't want to drink it. And I'm looking at her as if to say, it wouldn't have gone cold if you drunk it. She just looks at me and gives herself the finger of shame.
Yeah.
Bless her. She points at herself with the finger of shame. She's
getting back to herself, bless her.
Muse says that my macaw is dancing to it, lol. Go, macaw. What's the macaw called? We need to know the macaw's name. Almost like shortcake, super thin and crispy. Ooh.
It's not Davina, is it?
Is it? Or is it like them? Do you know what I've not had since I was a kid?
What?
Do you remember brandy snaps?
Oh, yeah.
like a little flat thing that they rolled into a tube, and it was like crunchy.
Was that? Someone just let one rip.
Not me.
That might have been.
Who was that?
Yeah, I think it might have been me when I leant forward to put my brother. Yeah.
That's like when the dog farts and then looks at everybody else in the room and he's like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I think,
who did that? Who did that?
Yeah, I think it might have. Sorry, mate.
I didn't hear it. Your noise filter kicked in again.
My noise gate is brilliant on this mic now, mate. It's
Well, apart from it gets rid of all the farts.
Yeah, it's like
Paul Lewis says Pontefract cakes.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember them.
Eccles cakes.
Muse says go. Oh God, I love Eccles cakes. So much. It's just fatness with
it's just so full of sugar that
Wait, what are the other ones? There's Eccles cakes and there's other ones that are almost exactly the same, but they've got a different name.
Yeah.
Eccles cakes and I've never figured out what the difference is.
It's not Pontefract cakes, is it?
No, that's
got licorice in it, isn't it? Yeah.
That's a block of licorice, that Pontefract cake, isn't it?
Kendall mint cake I like as well. I'll short a bit of that.
Can't eat a lot of that though.
Dare I say it, though, the last time I was out, I got dragged out of a newsagent's because I might have looked a bit lovingly at a packet of Werther's Originals.
Oh dear Lord, really? You're not that old.
I know. That's what she said. I said, think yourself lucky. Just before that, I was tempted to get a fisherman's friend. Really? You're officially an old git. It's that day that woman had a go at her when we was last out in London was hilarious. We went up to the London Eye. And I'm ambling along, and H was about 200 yards further forward, bless her. And she shouts out to me, "Oi, you crippled old git, get bloody move on, will you?" And this woman had a right go at her. So then H was, "He's my husband, I'll do what I like, blah, blah." You know, she got quite agitated. And I ambles across, and as I passed the woman, I went, "She does this to me all the time."
She beats me.
Oh, I've got bruises everywhere.
First time I've been allowed out in 2 years.
Yeah, uses 19 grams of sugars in this, so you can have two. Oh, laugh out.
Oh.
Yeah.
5 biscuits is a full serving.
Oh.
I really want some shortbread now. Some shortbread biscuit thing.
I want all the things, yeah.
Potato cakes. Oh. Potato cakes with Marmite on them.
Are you like me? Do you sit there with the jar of Marmite and a spoon?
No.
Or are you spread it on and leave it at that? I could see it with a spoon and do a jar of Marmite easily.
Yeah, that would be, I think, too harsh for me. I like it on toast and on paper, and I like it thick. I like it spread thick sometimes, but
yeah, mate, I'm a nightmare for it.
But I will quite happily sit there and toast like 3 packets of potato cakes and eat them all in one go. If you don't know what potato cakes are, just
You want potato cakes now, don't you?
I want potato cakes. They're like little squares, and you put it in the oven for like 2 minutes, and they don't taste like potatoes or anything else at all. Butter and Marmite. Muse says potato cakes. Yum.
Have you had Marmite rice cakes yet?
I've not eaten rice cakes like in.
Dude, they do them in Marmite flavour now. And I said this in Yang out one night to Kevin. I said, next time Jackie's out and about, get you a packet of Marmite rice cakes. Mate, he was like me. The packet never went back with any in them, mate. It's like, they are so Moorish, mate.
I have to get some of them.
Are you blowing on your tank again?
I'm blowing on my pads, my man pads.
Look at the difference, though. You get such a transition between the ones that you've done and the ones you haven't.
Yeah.
A simple but effective. It's a very easy way of achieving a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it's the most impressive. I mean, unfortunately, we are losing the edges a little bit. They're becoming very, very subtle. So we may have to do something later on. I was thinking possibly, it looks like about 3 coats might be enough. I was thinking possibly what we could do is, like we did with the metallics, a very, very,
very thin dry brush
of like a dark grey, but going in that direction. and using a stiff bristle dry brush, so you get like lines.
Yeah.
Just going, so it looks like scrape lines basically, and they're all going from front to back.
Yeah, it looks like the pad's scraped on a bit of gravelage.
Yeah, so you need a very stiff dry brush and just go.
You're a stiff dry brush.
Hello. Well, hello. But I think maybe 3 coats might be about enough.
I've got a really stiffy.
Oh, steady now. I was talking about potato cake, so I'm stiff all over.
I am so sorry. I didn't mean that. I meant a stiff dry brush. Look at that. Oh, God. I just said I've got
this one. It's like, it's like worth about 2p. I don't even know where it came from.
That is an Army Painter vehicle terrain brush, but it's as stiff as a stiffy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just making it worse now, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to... yeah.
Match game. I don't even know where all my brushes have gone.
Yeah. Well, this is a thing. I went through all my brushes and dug out my miniature brushes, and I now keep them in the wet palette on the brush holder on that.
Can't you just use some full-size brushes? You see what I did there?
Yeah, I did. Sometimes you just want to slap. Muse is saying, geez, Cole, laugh out loud. I'm not safe, Muse, am I, to go anywhere with? I really ain't. And I sit and wonder why H doesn't like it when I go out in public. Yeah.
Next time you go out to a restaurant and the waiter comes up to you, please do this, right? The waiter comes up to you and says, "What would you like, sir?" Please just go, "I like peas."
I will do that.
I want you to film it and everything.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll leave the phone on the table. I like peas.
I like peas, and can you cut them in half? Thank you.
Well, I've done it before where, you know, when you're having a meal, they come up to you, don't they, every 5 minutes. I think, all right, you know, and I was like, all right. I said, yeah, it will be if you F off and let me eat me dinner.
Yeah.
And I did the sausages with someone once where I think it might have been H that said, "I dare you." And it was like, you know, something wrong with the ends of this sausage, mate. And he's looked at me and he's like, "What?" I said, "A bit close together, ain't they? It's supposed to be a jumbo." And it just went over the top of his head, mate, this waiter. It was like, yeah, that was wasted, mate. Marcy says, "No, that would be funny." I'll do it. I'll quite happily. Jackie's laughing at me. Yeah. Oh, J. Lewis says, "Stiff bristle brush." Yeah, that's what I meant, Paul, honest. What with what I did to poor Dave before we went live.
Yeah. You're a bad man.
Yeah.
You're a harsh man.
I am. Yeah. Now you know, Marcy, why Helen's got a callus on her palm. It's where she's been face palming for the last 36 years, putting up with me.
Well, on one palm, it's from all the face palm, the other one from all the slaps.
Yeah, yeah. She just looks at me with despair. It's like, really? Why me?
Despair what? Oh, despair. I thought you said despair.
Despair.
Which spare? That spare. No, despair.
Yeah. I had a spare once. I had a spare pea. I like peas.
On that. Spare pea. It left me.
You're going for 3 coats? Oh, good for you.
Well, I've got 3 on that one. So I'll do a 3rd one on this one.
Oh, he's good, isn't he, folks? 3 coats. He's greedy sod, isn't he?
Now, don't worry, by the way, about if there's a lot of null oil built up around the pad, like on the actual track.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like a black outline. Don't worry if you think, oh, it's got this big black outline around the bottom, because we're going to do an earthy wash later on in the process, and that'll collect around all the bits anyway. So a lot of this might disappear when we do the earth washes.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Put the null oil away, because we'll do the rest of these later. It'll take you a good couple of hours, because you've got to, like, these ones here, for example, I'll have to angle it up, do them 3 times, and then let that dry each time. And then when that's done, turn it over. So it's going to take a while to get all them done.
He's good, isn't he?
But when they're dried, it'll be able to show people the difference between the...
Muse says, I was going to say slaps. Honestly, Muse, honestly, the bruises, the pain over the years. Yeah. I can hear her next door going, yeah, she's saying them rather strong words at me.
That's why when H calls Festa a slaphead, she means a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm going to slap it.
She's a dab hand with the tea towel. The minute I walk out in the kitchen and I see her doing the spiral movement with the hand, I know what's coming, and I always get the corner.
Especially if it's one of them ones where you've washed it in fabric softener as well.
Yeah.
And then it comes out all crispy and harsh. You're like, oh.
It's like a bullfight. It's like a rodeo bloke cracking the whip, you know, and it's like, I know what's coming. Of course.
Does that make you the rodeo clown?
Yeah, I can't get away quick enough. And she knows this. You know, she's got to look at him thinking he can get away. Bloody road runner, she says. Meep, meep. Really?
Meep, meep.
This is abuse, this is, love. I'll show you abuse in a minute. I had it earlier. She calls me in the kitchen. Come and have a look at this. And I was like, yeah, okay. She said, well, what are you still there for? I said, because you called me in to have a look. She said, you've had a look. Now sod off. You're loitering in the kitchen. Oh, all right then. I'll go then. Yeah,
because normally say, come on, have a look at this. And you wait for them to say, what do you think? Or they're asking you for your opinion. It's like, no, just...
Why are you still there? Because you asked me to come in here. Should we bloody loitering now? Get out of my kitchen. Oh, all right then.
Get out of my kitchen.
Not really. You've overstayed your welcome. Naff off, she said. All right, love, I'm going. Don't argue. All right. Her and Marcy would get on really well. Ways they can punish Festa.
You shouldn't wish for what you really don't want.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you.
Fire away.
Do you have a stiff brush that you are happy to throw away? Because I've had a thought.
Yeah.
I've had a thought. I've been doing thinking. I do apologise.
You are saying that I would actually throw a brush away. I can repurpose.
It doesn't have to be a particularly stiff, I suppose, as long as it's firm bristles. Because what I'm doing here, I'm going to trim this brush down, so we've only got like a small number of bristles on it.
Oh, right. Yeah. You're doing a bit of hairdressing. Yeah, I've got brushes like that. God, you want to see some of the scuzzy brushes I've got, mate?
As long as they're fairly stiff bristled, not soft floofy things, basically.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. Because I want to, when we do the pads and the little, I only want like a small number of little.
Us modelers are all notorious, aren't we, for holding on to brushes. What is the point of me keeping that brush? Discuss.
It's great for dry brushing. What is it? Dry brushing brush?
No, this used to have bristles about that long, mate. But
stippling, dry brushing.
Yeah, it's literally got about 3 bristles left on it.
That's fine. Well, that might actually be perfect then.
Yeah, you got that one. That's an even better one. Look at that one.
Tea brush.
Yeah, that is quality brush, that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, that might do it.
Yeah. Well, what I've done on this one is I've cut most of the bristles away, so I've only got like 10, 15 bristles.
Yeah.
Because if I use the whole brush on that pad, it's just going to paint the whole pad grey. So what I want is as few bristles as possible and make them stiff so they don't bend.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to have a few. It's either that or paint the scrapes manually, and I can't be bothered doing that. So far too much hard work, and you'll struggle with that with your shakes. So this is a way for you to be able to do this, I reckon.
I like peas.
So I'm just trimming it down to like 10 bristles.
That's perfect. That brush. I like that brush.
As long as they're fairly stiff, and as long as it's got like 3 bristles or something.
I had a friend once.
Lies.
Yeah, that's good enough. It could do with a bit more of an haircut, actually. So it's going to get.
I have an entire jar of scuzzy brushes.
Yeah.
I have an entire glass full of them. Look, loads of them. Never throw a brush away. That's why I love these. Bizarrely, I love the Games Workshop base brushes, the round ones, like these ones. Unfortunately, when you paint some, they're brilliant little brushes for painting big flat areas. Yeah. They're really good for it, like for painting, like, you know, but they last about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But once that happens, I don't know why that's in there because that's still a good brush. Once that happens, they're brilliant little dry brushes. These are some of them. We did this entire post shading with these brushes. These are brilliant for dry brushing, soft for doing, because they're soft, so you can do soft blends with the dry brushing. They're absolutely fantastic for doing like post shading and stuff. So don't ever throw them away. I buy them pretty much expecting to not use them for the intended purpose after about a day.
Yeah, as long as you don't think it's going to last like an artist's opus or a broken toad, then yeah.
I mean, they are expensive, but then again, if I buy them mostly as dry brushes and I get a few hours of actual painting out of them, that's fine. Yeah. My local store manager's like, "Why do you keep buying all these base?" I said, "I don't use them I use them as dry brushes. They're fantastic."
Yeah.
I said, "They're rubbish. They last about 5 minutes, but then they can last 2 years as a dry brush."
Yeah.
Josh in from Rise Design.
Hello, welcome, Josh. How you doing, mate? Lovely to see you.
He says, I'm going to be getting Nick Pro brushes. I've never heard of those.
It's all right. I didn't want that brush anyway, so I thought I would just drop it on the floor because I can.
Did you not want that brush?
Yeah, it's all right. Grabber or Festa, this is out.
Festa grabber.
Festa grabber.
Grabbity, 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 grab. I'm blowing on my man pads again.
Oh, yeah. No, look at the post-it, Carl. Don't say it out loud.
So I guess I'm Chinese tonight then.
What are Nick Pro brushes then? I've not heard of them.
No, I've not heard of them before.
Discuss, Josh. What are Nick Pro brushes? This is where Marcy does a face palm now.
I'm going to take a punt. I'm going to push the boat out.
Oh, you're
Leap
not.
of faith. I'm going to say they're brushes by Nick Pro.
No.
I bet they are. I'm going to adjust my colour balance so people can get maybe a better idea of what my track actually looks like. Let me just see if I can a little bit. So it's a bit closer to what I'm actually seeing.
Yeah. We have got a lot of lights on, don't forget. So there you go. I don't know whether that works.
That's possibly a bit closer to what I'm actually seeing. It's probably a little too red. You can see there the red on the stripe is ridiculous, and on my hands is ridiculous. Yeah. But that's more like what the rust looks like if you were to sit here and look at it with your actual face eyes. So just so you know. Just so always remember that the colours are a bit washed out and funky on webcams.
Well, this is it. We do have a lot of studio lights on as well, don't we? So
yeah, it's just using crappy webcams is never a good idea. You never get the best colour balance, really.
No. Oh, right. He said they're the off-brand of the Gundam brushes that they have. Apparently, Nick Pro make mechanical pencils. Yeah.
Oh, mechanical pencils.
Right.
I must get a mechanical pencil. Oh, here's a question. Do you know? You might know this. You know when it's pencils, which are the ones that are more like dark graphite and dead soft? Are that the bigger number or the smaller? Is that like a 0 HB or an HB or a 3 HB or something? Or?
Yeah, the smaller ones are darker. The bigger ones are very soft, aren't they?
Yeah.
Light shades.
I'm debating whether to get. I've got that graphite stick, but it's not. When doing things like tracks and stuff, I've seen people when they have proper tanks with wheels, they get they paint the whole track rusty, and then what they'll do is they'll get a mechanical pencil or a sharp pencil, and they'll do the bit between the wheels with the graphite with pencils.
Yeah.
So it's the bit where it's polished clean by the wheels, so it's never dirty.
Yeah.
But it looks like instead of just painting it bare metal, you get a pencil and do that, and it's like, ooh, yeah, but I haven't got any pencils. I must get some pencils.
Yeah, just get yourself a set of HB artist pencils, and you'll have, the large nib sizes right down to the fine
HB artist pencils.
But yeah, them graphite pencils are pretty tasty, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a bit. When you do tracks, though, they tend to not really. I don't know. They're a bit subtle sometimes. You have to be careful as well, because if you press too hard, they take all your paint off because they scrape it.
Yeah.
The thing I love about these so much is that when we've painted the tracks, I've got little bits of grey and bits of rust colour and bits of the metallic dry brush all over the edges of here. But you know what? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, because it could be that the tracks have had an oil and it's seeped out.
Yeah, it looks like part of the actual weathering. So
yeah. Wayne says the number's the hardness, the letter is the darkness. Right. There you go. Ryston says use grey prism colour pencils.
Ooh, prism. I've got to do it. Hang on. Prism. Any word that ends in SM, it has to be said like that.
That'll be going in the Amazon basket then. A grey prism pencil.
Prism. I like the word plasma if you take the A off the end. Plasm. Sounds like something functional, body function type thing that you don't want to discuss. Right. I think they're almost dry. Give it another minute. Then we'll do a dry brushy thing on them, see if we can get this to work. We should have done this on the bottom, really, because then we could test it. But let's just...
Could you test the dry brushing effect on a bottom pad without the Moulin oil to see whether it works? I don't know.
Yeah, you could test out the bristles. You wouldn't have the same effect. But
no.
You could certainly try it. Give it a go. I would recommend for this. Let's see what colour would be a good one. I don't know if Storm Vermin Fur again will be a bit dark, or we should go for something like Dawnstone. Let's try Dawnstone. I'll do it on a bottom, on a pad on the bottom, just to see. Test out my
bit of Dawnstone, yeah.
Dawn. I think you've got Dawnstone.
I have.
Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah, try not to knock your webcam, Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
Don't knock your webcam. Now I've got to try and get paint on these like 10 bristles and get the paint off again. I'm not sure that's going to work.
You says I've got a tin of those pencils somewhere. I've got a tin of the HB mixed designs. Yeah.
I don't know if you can actually get the paint off 10 bristles.
Josh says he's going to send me a link on the pencils. I don't think I spelled that. Yeah, no worries, mate. Cheers for that, Josh. Massively appreciated, mate. And good to see you in, Wayne. Hope you're keeping well, mate.
Okay, this may be a rampant failure.
Oh, dear.
Well, unlike when you try and get all the paint off the bristles on a normal brush, when you try and get the paint off like 10 bristles, all you do is get the paint off 10 bristles. There's nothing left. Let's try. This may not work. Okay, let's just try not trying to get the paint off 10 bristles then. Give it a whirl. Or almost off, but not quite. Okay, it sort of works if you almost get the paint off, but like literally just get the brush and go blip, blip, blip like that. Because you've only got 10 bristles, it's not like you can get the paint into all the bristles. There's no bristles there for it to get into. So I'm going to test it live with some Dawnstone on a real pad. I'll screw this up so you don't have to. So I'll get it on there. I'll do like 1, 2, 3. Just run it on the back of my hand to get rid of any excess. And then let's have a, can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Very carefully. It just puts a few little chips at the front of the pad. It's going to be ridiculously subtle. On some of them, depending on if you've got more paint on some, you might get a line. On others, you might get nothing. Let's just get a bit of paint on that bristle and then just. There you go. All right, that might work if we use Dawnstone.
There you go. A bit of Dawnstone it is then.
You really want like 10 bristles on your brush. And I mean, really fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, could you get any worse than that?
That's pretty good. And we'll just try running it across. I'd go really lightly, and then if there's too much paint, you've just made like 1 or 2 little lines then. If you've not got enough paint, it won't do anything. Oh, that's quite good. It's a stupidly subtle effect. And once we've done loads of other weathering, it'll absolutely completely disappear. But we could go for a lighter.
Josh is saying they use them at work to write on metal. Oh, nice. Mew says Prismacolor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Prismacolor. Just being careful not to get the bristles on the metal part of the tracks. And I'm rotating the brush around occasionally so they're not all getting the same exact pattern. It'll work quite nicely. Once there's all the weathering on here, they'll blend away. It'll just be something your eye catches, possibly.
Yeah.
That was quite a big blob, but I'll worry about that later. I'll get it off my thumb. There you go. If it goes horribly wrong, just dip it with your thumb. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's a nice little technique. It could.
It's something different.
It could, with practice, become quite a useful little technique. So that's a bit heavy, but I can rub my thumb on it and it fades it out a bit. Yeah, we're going to be doing like an earth wash on these later anyway, so all sins will be forgiven. And if you do a dirty, great big blob, all you need to do later on is maybe just touch in a bit of a dark grey colour, like a Skaven Black Dinge or a Corvus Black, just to hide any blobs. That's got no paint on it at all.
You're a blob.
You're made of blobs.
You're a blimp.
You're ridiculous. Ha! I win.
It's all right. I got the key word. I got blimp.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off between how long you want the game to go on and who's going to say you're ridiculous first.
Yeah, but I know I'm ridiculous. I enjoy being ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. You're made of ridiculous. That's it. Doesn't work then. You can't be made of ridiculous.
Yeah, but I like peace.
I like peace.
You're getting there.
There'll be no peace at our time. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only...
You didn't do a Sagan quote.
Jeff isn't in, is he?
I don't know. Is he?
Don't think Jeff's in. I've got one lined up ready. Well, I've got the page open.
I'm sure he was. Or was that in my stream?
It was in your stream, I think. I'm not aware of Jeff coming in.
I'm scrolling up. You take note of this.
I could be wrong. I could be right.
I could be wrong because I can't see him in there.
Did I just quote punk stuff then?
I think you did, yeah.
Are you not impressed?
Yeah, Public Image, wasn't it?
I've got no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I could be right. It was Rise by P-I-L.
I don't know.
How did I know that? I don't know how I knew that. It's in my head now.
You like all that rubbish music?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an old metalhead, if I'm honest, but a bit of punk rock, but I'm not a bit impartial to. Angry music, as I used to call it.
Angry music, can we fix it? I don't know where that just came from. Also, trying to wash out a brush that's got like 10 bristles is a unique challenge.
Yeah, especially if you're using Master's brush soap. Why are you doing 3 bristles with? Why? Because I might want to use these 3 misses, 3 bristles even.
Bristles.
Yeah. Well, I'll get my words out today. Jeff Light says, if you mean me, I'm here. Yeah, we was on about Candygram for Mongo.
I don't think he's in.
But he's not in, mate. So, yeah, because normally when he comes in, Fox does a Carl Sagan quote. So...
See, I've even got my Carl Sagan page ready here, you see.
Well, what you could do is you could do a Carl Sagan quote, just in case he watches it back.
No, he's got to be here.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Oh, was you being all defiant Ted then?
I am. Right, so I've done my pads. I can't say I've got a big stiffy at the end result, basically. They're not, not quite what I intended. I think if I was going to do this again, I'd actually manually paint very delicate little lines and things. But it's once the weathering goes on there, it'll be hidden anyway.
Yeah,
I can't say out or out that they look like rubber, really, to be honest.
Do they look rubbery? See what I did there? Thank you very much. Yeah.
Rubbery lookery. No, not really, but at least they look interesting anyway. There'll be weathering to go on top of these, so... Hopefully when you've got the dusty earth textures around the bottom of the pads, because right now we've got like a black halo around each pad where the normal gathers, so that'll get rid of that. So, but yeah, we'll carry on with that.
Oh mate, it's the fact that we have got to use the world's most useless brushes, and I'm happy about that, because that poor brush has been sat in a pot for a long time, and it's got like 3 bristles poking out of one corner, folks.
Like, woohoo, my time has come.
Yeah,
I'll do the rest of my my pads the same way. I'll carry on with that brush.
Yeah,
I will. As we said before, I will trust in the process, and we'll trust that when the dirt weathering happens later on, that will actually make the tracks look even better.
That brush is now officially the Leman Russ track brush.
Track brush, better. I want rice and chips.
Yeah. Oh, that is hilarious. That is, bless her heart. Can I have curried rice and chips?
I've got the world's biggest bogey up my nose. I've got to get rid of it. Sorry.
Oh, too much info. I'll see up your nose.
It's a big crispy, like thing.
Oh, dear, I'm so going to go to hell. I really am.
It's a big, crispy.
Fox has got a bogey.
I've got a big crispy thing in my nose.
He's got a bogey.
Do. Jeff Light says, I haven't seen Candy yet. Yeah, I don't think that's it. The Jeff.
I really need to get a life.
I can't think of a different person whose voice I can even remotely do that would have a quote to do instead of a Carl Sagan quote. So not the same if Jeff's not here. It's not the same. Can't do it now. No.
I'm trying to think whose voice it could be done in. Yeah.
I'm not in Carl Sagan quoting somebody else's voice.
No, that's sacrilege, mate.
So we'll let that dry for a minute, and then we'll have to think about what time are we on? We are on 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock already, mate. Bloody hell.
Yeah. What else can we do in the next half hour then? How do you feel about painting little gold bits, like details, little tiny details? Are you up for painting tiny details? Or are you
yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it.
You're up for it? You think you're up for it? Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I will go for it.
Yeah, go on. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, the only bits I think we're going to paint gold are peas.
I like peas. I like gold.
I like keys.
I like keys as well. Keys and peas.
I like bees.
Bees with keys that are eating peas.
Okay, Lord, you need help.
Yeah,
right, so on my tank, I don't know what you've got.
Oh,
on my tank, I've got this thing at the back.
I've got one of them.
On the stowage box. I have that on the front. I don't know if you've stuck one of these like Aquillas on the front. You might have.
I stuck mine on its arse, if I remember rightly, on the turret.
Okay, if you've got one on the turret.
Yeah, there it is. I've got 2. I've got one there.
Yeah.
And I've got one above it on there.
Lovely. So we're going to do the one above it. We're going to do.
Yeah.
I think that's molded into the thing. I've got one on the side here. You don't think you've got one of those?
Oh yeah, you plop one on there now. I've got my decals on there.
So basically, anywhere we've got an Aquila.
Yeah. Is that what they're called? Yeah.
It's an Aquila, which is Latin for eagle.
Oh, you're good, you are.
Yeah, and the Imperial Aquila has one eye with an eye, one head with an eye, and one head with a cap on.
Oh, right.
Because one eye is looking forward to the future, and one is nobody really knows why. One's blinded.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the past. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, you've got an Aquila like the eagle, or you've got any little like that little crest thing, or anything with a skull and wings, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Marcy says I've put a picture of the pencils in the group. Thank you very much, Marcy. You are a darling.
I like pencils.
Yeah, I've got a nice pencil. I want pencils now.
Pencils are very exciting.
I want all the pencils.
And for this, we are going to use.
He's going to name the one gold I probably haven't got in here yet.
Can you guess what gold we're going to use? You see if you can guess. What's the best gold in all the world?
Oh, gold.
It's the best gold in the world in the Citadel range, and nobody can pronounce it.
Oh, right. So it ain't that one then.
It might be.
Liberator gold. I've got.
No. Nope.
Oh, let's have a look at the other golds then.
This is what it sounds like.
Run Lord Brass. No, that's brass. I
was going to say, no, that'd be a brass then.
That'll be a brass. Flat in here, eh? Where's my golds? Go on, if you name it. I don't even know where I've got it. There they are. Oh, God, that's a weird name.
It's like Frankie Howard. No, madam, no.
Oh, gold. This one's got Enna's gold.
Not that one.
No, so it ain't that one. Thank Christ for that.
It might have a white lid. It might not.
Retributor armor.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got that. Well, of course I have. I just read it out, haven't I?
That one, yeah, I've got that one.
Retributor armor.
That's the one.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, Retributor armor.
Oh, there you go then. Well, yeah. I would say that ain't hard to say, but yeah.
A lot of people call it Retributor armor, but just Retributor's not a word, so. Right. All we're going to do is paint them bits gold.
Oh, you're good.
You'll want to use a nice fine brush.
Super detail brush, yeah?
Yeah, as long as it's got a nice point on it.
Insane detail it is then. Or detail.
I don't know about insane, because don't forget you've got to paint the flat edges as well. So it's got to be able to do both the little raised edges and also the flat bits. So a brush that you think can give you nice coverage, but also can do thin edges.
Right, yeah, it'll be that then. That'll do.
I'm going to use. It's quite a nice paint when you pull it across an edge like a little raised lip. It will kind of fit to the edge. It's quite nice and well behaved that way. So I'm going to use a small layer brush, I think, for this one.
Oh, you're good.
I think so. Yes. But it's a really nice color. It kind of behaves when you have it on an edge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really love using this paint and throwing that brush. I didn't want that brush anyway.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of Festa. Good.
Yeah.
Would a regiment brush be too big? That?
Yeah, probably a bit.
Yeah, no smaller than that. Then
like if you look at the Aquila on the back of your turret, on the top back of your turret, you want it to be big enough to paint it in as few brush strokes as possible.
Oh right, yeah.
But be fine enough to be able to paint the lip around the edge.
Oh right, yeah.
Or to get it to go over the edge, like to fold over the edge and paint the edge. If you know what I mean. Because the trick is using as few brush strokes as possible to get a smooth finish, and that's why it's often the case with painting and brushes to use a bigger brush than you think you'll need. Round and earthy. That's one mistake you see people doing a lot, using a tiny brush to paint something that doesn't need a tiny brush, and end up with a billion
brush marks.
So I'm going to do this bit on the back. I love painting skulls. For some reason, when you paint a skull with Retributor armor, the paint just falls into place. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Now, I'm using a wet palette here, but that's because I'm a heathen.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, that's just so I don't have to waste a lot of paint. What I'm going to do is quite quickly. Remember the trick of flattening the brush. Get the brush near the edge, and then push it down a little bit to flatten the bristles out, and that'll push it over the edge and it'll catch the edge.
Yeah.
If you want to, don't paint into things like eye sockets on skulls, because then it saves you having to put a wash in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got like a raised detail like the Aquila or a skull, just get the bristles near the edge and then just gently push them down very subtly. And it just pushes the bristles towards the edge, and that's how you can make sure you don't go over the edge and onto this bit of the tank. And we will be doing a wash over this, so don't worry about getting the paint right to the very edge. You can be a little bit scruffy because the wash will cover up any wobbly edges. I love painting with Retributor armor. I love this color so much. It always goes on quite nice, and it's dead relaxing. It's a very well behaved paint. It kind of goes where you put it. My stomach's making all kinds of noises. And if you're like me, you're a brush licker. It kind of makes your brush taste like swimming pools.
Oh, lovely.
That kind of slight swimming pool taste, but like a nice swimming pool in a nice sunny country, and it's really warm, and you're all sitting around the pool with an alcoholic beverage. That kind of swimming pool. So yeah, don't worry too much if you've got like a raised edge. You don't have to actually paint down the vertical side. We will do a wash little catch, but if you can, do.
Yeah, if you can do it, yeah.
But if not, just make sure you get the flat surface like we did with the track pads.
Yeah.
Because we'll give this a shade later on of Brighton Flesh shade. Now, for anyone that's asking, if anyone's thinking this, why am I painting the gold bits now when I know I've got all the weathering to do and all the matte varnish to go on later on? Why would I paint gold stuff now when it's not going to be shiny after the matte varnish? And the reason is that as soon as we put a shade on this gold, it's going to go matte anyway.
Ah, right, yeah.
So it's not a problem. Like with the other metallics, like with silvers, normal oil is matte, so it makes your silvers go matte. With gold, we use things like Reichler Flesh shade and things like that. That also makes it go matte, but that's not the problem. That's not a problem because this is just the base coat. It doesn't matter if the base gold color goes matte, because once we've got our final matte varnish on, we can go back over the golds and do little edge highlights or highlights in whatever way in either lighter gold colors or even silvers to bring back the metallic edge. So again, like you do when you do a silver and you give it a normal wash, you've made a matte grey surface. Then you go back with your lighter silvers to bring back the shiny bits. That's exactly what we'll do here. And that's what makes metallics look... It's not realistic, But at tabletop miniature level, it makes metallics look more metallic because you've got, like you said before me doing the tracks, you've got this flat matte base grey colour or gold colour.
Yeah.
And then you've got the shiny bits that sparkle because you turn it round and the little edges are all painted in a bit of silver that you added later on.
Wayne says, yeah, thanks for the tip. He says, I always struggle painting the little fiddly details because my hands shake so bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally know that feeling, mate.
Yeah, it does.
I find sometimes pinching my little finger between my thumb and the index just stops my right hand from twitching so much, and I can then just do tiny little strokes.
Yeah, I find as well, if you're doing fine detail, hold the brush closer to the on the ferrule.
Yeah.
If you're doing chipping and you want to have your shakes emphasized, hold it away from the end, from the tip. But if you're doing that close, make sure you've got both your hands anchored. Like you'll see, I'm leaning on the tank here with my little finger.
Yeah.
But I'm also sometimes I'm also anchoring that hand with the other hand. So all I've got to move is those two fingers. So as best you can, try and anchor all your hands. Don't try and paint without actually leaning on something, because that's when you get real bad shakes.
Yeah.
Even I get that. Always anchor your hand. Sometimes you're going to be painting, I'll just anchor one hand on the other hand like that.
Yeah. I use the other hand to build a bridge, but if I'm really bad, then I pinch my little finger between my thumb and my index just to try and give me a bit more.
Yeah.
I'd say sometimes it works really well, other times it doesn't. It's what you need to do at that time, Wayne.
Yeah. But I also know as well, like I've just said, I've not really gone around all the very edges. If you look at the edges close up there, they're still the grey colour.
Yeah.
I've just painted the flat surface, because as soon as you put a ripen flesh shade on that, that's going to gather around the edges and it'll just
do the job. Yeah.
So if you're using washes or shades like that, you don't actually have to get every edge crisp, because shades forgive all those sins. And I've said it before as well, if you're painting something and you do make a little bit of a splodge, say I got some of the gold paint, a little tiny bit on the grey tank hull, it's fine. Once I put a shade on it, it'll kind of hide it. It'll darken it all away. So on this thing on the front here, this is quite sticky outy, so I can easily get the brush. And
you sound so much like H then.
Yeah, sticky outy.
That's what she says, sticky outy thing.
I'll see if I can zoom in. Sticky outy. Well, it's like a pushy-pulley thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Are we doing the skull gold, or is that staying skull coloured? It may sound a daft question.
I'm doing it gold. You can do it skull coloured if you want. It's entirely up to you.
I don't know what colour it should be. That's what I was asking, mate.
Whatever colour you want it to be is the colour it needs to be. I quite like doing it gold.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be a real skull. So.
Right, okay.
As much excuse to do anything gold is always a good excuse.
No, that's all right. It's just so that I know, mate.
That's all right. So we've got this thing on the front here, which I will adjust the focus because it's completely not focused. So we've got this thing on the front here, this skull. It's got wings that stick out. You can see a little bit, they kind of stick forward. I'll do it underneath though, because it's easier to see. It also sticks forward there.
Oh, right, yeah, see it.
When you've got an edge like that, the temptation is to get your brush and paint it like this. Imagine this was actually touching the tank hull, but you get the brush on the tank hull. What I find easier, if it's a very fine edge like that, is to use something you don't often do, use the tip of your brush, but have it like that. So you're going to be moving the brush sideways, not like this. So I'll get it there. I'll line up the tip of the brush with the edge of the thing I want to paint, and then I'll just drag it sideways like that.
Yeah.
Very gently. And that way, notice I'm anchoring my little finger on the tank.
Yeah.
This way, I'm controlling where the paint actually stops with the tip of the brush, but I'm using the flat of the brush because I'm doing it horizontally. If I try and do it like that, then any paint on the side of the brush risks going on the side of the tank I don't want to get the paint on.
Yeah,
like
you don't want that.
Yeah, the wall that the thing is mounted on. So again, if it's an edge like that and you can get to it, just use the tip of your brush and use it horizontally like that. And you can do it like around the edges here. It's quite a pronounced edge, so I can do the same. I can use the tip of the brush. It's a bit like when you squish the brush to get the flat edge, but this one, I'm using the tip of the brush as the absolute final point as where the paint will finish. So I can guess where that's going to be. I'm not putting any pressure on, but I'm just pulling the brush along. It's hard to explain, but you kind of get a hang for it after a little while. See, I can do it like that because this one is quite far away from the surface. But if that was flush against the tank hull, I'd just get paint on the hull.
Jeff Light says he has a friend that holds his wrists when his hands shake. Yeah. When I use airbrush, I put a rubber band around my hand. so that the airbrush is held in the hand with a rubber band, just in case I twitch. I don't want to go dropping a nice expensive airbrush. So you learn little tricks with your twitches and your shakes. Sometimes they can work to your advantage.
Oh yeah, like you found out with chipping.
Yeah, but not all the time, if that makes sense. But you improvise, adapt, and overcome. I've had it before where people go, "Oh, wouldn't it be easier if you done that?" And it's like, it would be a hell of a lot easier, but I shake a lot. And on days when they're pronounced, you go with what you can.
It's like you said before, though. It's sometimes it's a case of not just going, well, I can't do this because I've got the shakes or whatever. Sometimes it's a case of, okay, I can't do that because of my shakes. How else can I do it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I was determined today to get them tracks built. I thought, it's not going to beat me.
Yeah.
You know, a bit of judicious padding out in a few places, and and
that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, thankfully, there's nothing stops me doing anything I want to do. I've not got any impediments to what I need to do. But I've seen people with. I know a guy, strangely enough.
Yeah.
He's colorblind, but he's got full color blindness, which means he literally sees in black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
He has no color receptors at all in his retina. So he literally sees the world in black and white, but he's also an artist.
Yeah.
So he doesn't sit there and say, well, I can't do painting now because I don't know what color I'm picking up. It could be terrible. What he does is he paints in black and white.
Yeah.
So if you've got a limitation, let's see, you've got a technique, but you think, I can't do that because I haven't got this, that, or the other. Well, it's like, well, just paint it some other way. There's no hard and fast rule that says you have to paint a model in a certain way. If you want to paint a model entirely with sponges and make it all abstract and like bizarre colors, do whatever you want.
Yeah, sure, model.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to remember. I do a lot. I think I've said it before. I do a lot where it's a bit like Zoom meetings for people that have got MS. Yeah. And if I had £1 for everyone who said, I can't do that because I've got MS, it gives me the ump. And I'm like, you should have the attitude, despite my MS, I'm going to have a go.
I can't do that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do it differently.
That's where you're going wrong. And they're like, oh, it's easy for you to say. Well, I've been battling it since my early 20s, mate. Yeah. That's half my life, Yeah, go on.
Well, I remember, have you got any las guns on the side of anywhere on your tank? Any rifles and stuff?
Yeah, I got some at the top there. Is that a las gun?
Hang on, right there, look. Which one we're looking at? Point it for me.
That one, the only one on there.
Oh, I meant like a rifle or stuff. If you got the bolters on the top, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to make the casing the same color as the tank,
yeah,
then you can go ahead and paint any gold aquillas on the casings of weapons.
Oh right, yeah.
I just saw my rifle here, and it's like, well, the aquillas on the casing, and why don't I just leave the casing the same color as the tank, and I'll paint the silver bit later, so I can paint the aquila now on the rifle, basically.
Oh, if I was going to paint, that's got one on there. That's got like looks like Eddie out of Iron Maiden on the side of that.
I can't see on my
yeah. I'll paint it gold, and you'll see it.
Yeah. So it's like if I was going to paint that casing on that gun green, then I wouldn't paint this aquila now because I'm going to make the casing first. But I thought, well, why don't I just make the casing the same color as the tank, which kind of makes sense. And then I can paint that one. I've just spotted it now, and I thought I'll have a bit of that. Now they are really small, so you really want very little paint on your brush.
Marcy says she also uses a yoga block. Yeah, I was looking for my Velcro hand shield that's got a metal rod in it. I've put it over there somewhere, but that comes in. Yeah, that comes in handy. But there are times when it can be a bit too restrictive as well. It depends on how bad things are, really. But I operate on a good best anyway. If it's really getting bad, I just pad it out by going, actually, I think I'll come back to that. I want to do this instead, and I'll just blag it.
Yeah.
It's like you said, when if it was too much to do a show today, you would understand. It's like, no, sod it. It's not going to win.
Well, it's like I said earlier on in chat, I said to Colin, and he won't mind me telling you this. watching his stream earlier, he was having a bit of the shakes. But you had some juice and stuff, and it actually got a bit better. So
yeah, I think it was that type of shake today.
Yeah. But I sent him a little message saying, if you don't think you're up to doing the Leman Russ today, let us know and we can do something else. If it's a bit asking a bit too much, because I basically say to him, it's your call. I'd say to Colin, it's your call. If we're going to be doing something you think I'm going to struggle with that, then we'll just do something bigger.
Well, you kind of know the ins and outs of what's happening at the moment, don't you? Because you're in that inner circle, so to speak, and I don't mean that in a nasty way.
Inside in circle.
But he knows what is actually going on and why I'm struggling at the moment. So it helps Foxx understand the limitations that can happen at times.
Yep. But I'm also acutely aware that I don't want Colin to ever think he's obligated to either do a stream when he's not up for it or do a particular thing on a stream when he's not feeling. Because the last thing I want is for Colin to think, I have to work on the Leman Russ today because it's Fox's stream, and then be struggling because we're painting little details to be struggling and feel like really bad. It's like, no, if you're not up for it, we can do something else. We can sit and talk about bananas, or we can paint the stomp, or we can do anything. It doesn't really matter.
Well, this is it. I used to be quite guarded about it, didn't I? But in the end, that wasn't fair on you. And when we started doing the Warhammer Sunday, I was like, right, this is what I face. This is what's happening. And if we need to work around it, I'll just say to you, we might not be able to do that today. It's nothing you've done, Foxx. It's just my system. Yeah, no worries.
I mean, I know 99% of the time when I say to him, are you up for the Leman Russ or whatever it is? Are you up for the tiny painting today? Are you going to be okay? I know 99% of the time he's going to say, yeah, we're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather ask and have
absolutely
feeling comfortable. I'd rather you be comfortable and not feel obligated to do tiny painting.
Well, this is difficult for you as it is for me, because I know what you're like. You would feel awful if you felt you was putting me in a situation where I felt I didn't have a choice. So we just have this transparency around the MS side of things, which is, it's kicking me ass today, but I'm going to have a go, mate. However, if I can't, have you got a plan B? And that's what we do, don't we? We flit around with ideas. Yeah. And it works.
If push comes to shove at the end of the day, I can just get the stomper out. We can work on that,
You just want to get your stomper out.
I was trying to figure out the day. I was sitting there thinking, right, it's today. I was like, I can't be bothered doing anything mood yesterday. You get them days when you really can't be motivated to do anything, even stuff you need to do. And I'm like, I'm tempted to just get the stomper finished so that I'm starting a new thing when you're starting a new thing next week.
Yeah, I was tempted to streak me nuts last night.
Wait, what? I don't want to know.
Oh, no.
I'm not even going there.
Not again. I'm just waiting now for Marcy to go, Cole. Really?
Really?
Yeah, you remember on the frolic I said I needed to apply streaking fluid around me bolt heads and yeah. And I was tempted to have a go at doing that last night, but I was a bit ropey last night. I thought, nah, I'll leave it.
Well, I was sat there and I thought,
we can do another week on the Stomper this week if you want to do some finishy-offy bits, mate. I don't mind.
No. You do what you want to do. I was just debating whether I thought I could just sit here and finish it. But then I'm missing out on, I could do a stream and get it finished.
Yeah.
Or I could record it and film it. But then I was like, I can't be bothered filming it. And
it's like we've said all along, the Frolic is a stream where I've never dedicated it solely to war. It's kind of gone that way because we work a lot together. Yeah. But we'd always decided after the Stomper I'd be going back to doing what I would currently have on my bench that week. It could be something I'm filming or whatever. And I will use the Frolic just to do a live stream of what I'm doing that particular moment.
It's
so I've already...
Yeah, because the Stomper takes forever.
Yeah, I've already got the build sat there. I'm actually going to continue with my big 1/16 Volkswagen T1 bus, 21 window, I think it is, because it's sat there and it's been sat there for about 4 months, getting in the way. So that's how I'm going to use the Friday and Warhammer Sunday, because it's Warhammer Sunday. I'm going to focus Warhammer once a week on a Sunday with Foxx, because that's Fox's niche, Fox's channel, or this is Fox's channel. And it works for me because it saves me a bit of money at the moment on having to buy a lot of Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, because you're only doing it once a week. I was like, I could stream it and I'd get some content out of that. I'm like, yeah, but
yeah.
It was a no motivation day, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's one of them, and it works. I started it with Dave on the Sunday at the benches because we was building a lot together of builds, and Dave was beginning to get a little bit under pressure because he felt he was going too slow. And I said, well, the easiest thing to do is when I finish mine, I'll just build something else. Because I build quick because I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to build tomorrow. Yeah. So I try to get as much done in one session, because if I'm having a bad day, I might have to edit the video that I recorded or whatever. Yeah. So I tend to speed build. Well, that carries off onto live streams, I'm afraid. And poor old Dave beats himself up because he gets behind. And I'm like, dude, it's not fun for you if you're doing that.
Yeah.
So I thought it would work on the Frolic as well, because we've done it on the Stomper. It's like, dude, you've got that all built already. I'm like, yeah, I'm having to really slow down here.
Well, the Frolic's not about what we're building. It's just hanging out time.
Exactly. So. It's two geezers hanging out at the end of the week, keeping their mates company. And
it's just that what we're building right now takes about a year to build and paint on the stream.
Yeah, I was looking at my channel because I was doing all the artwork ready for next week, the next year, all the outros for next year and the over. So I like to have a spring clean once a year. And I was moving video content around on the channel to make space for the gaming streams when they start.
Yay!
And I started looking, I thought, God, bloody hell, there's a lot of Warhammer lately. I need to get back to doing me regular you know.
Oh, don't forget, by the way, all your weapons, your sponsor weapons and stuff, they might have little skulls on them and Aquili as well.
Yeah, that's what I painted on the side of that one. Do you remember I said it's got a little mask on the side, see him?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know I meant the little ones that go in the front bits.
Yeah.
Your extra ones.
Yeah, what about the skull on his shoulder, on the shoulder pads? Are they gold?
Yeah, but he's not been painted yet.
Oh, right, okay.
We're just doing stuff where the base colours are
for the guns.
Guns.
Let's get guns out. It's all about guns.
So
Carl,
casing...
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Marcy says, Carl, with the post gets sorted out, you should have oddity cards. And yeah, I've still got your stuff here, Marcy, that I posted out to you that got returned. I will send it in the new year, darling, when the goodies come over.
Mm-hmm. What was I going to say? What did you ask me just then?
I can't remember now. Oh, yeah, it was whether we was painting skulls on pauldrons, but he's not painted yet. But there are skulls on some of these gun things in here, isn't it? That's what you meant, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, basically, because we've already painted the guns with the same as the body and done chipping and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the casing is going to be body coloured, so we can just paint all the details on those now.
Yeah.
It's the beauty with all the extra weapons is they're just the same colour as the tank, basically. So
you're a weapon.
You're made of weapons.
La, 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 la. I'm not hearing you.
Oh, you're ridiculous.
You're even more ridiculous.
Doesn't work.
You're double ridiculous 10 times over.
I've already said the winning line. You can't go after that.
No, but your mum said you're ridiculous as well.
Your mum said I'm ridiculous. Wait, no. Oh, damn it.
Damn it. Yeah. The minute your mum comes in, it's like, yeah.
Your mum. Okay, there's only skulls on the melters, not on the plasma thing. Plasma.
My mum still thinks it was sweet that she came back from staying at her sister's for a couple of weeks, and she felt it was sweet and that she had been good by not getting in trouble. I've done really well. She didn't get in trouble at all. I was like, Mum, you're in your 80s and you're proud that you're not in trouble.
It's an achievement. When somebody comes back and says, I didn't get arrested once.
Oh, yeah, her and her sister got detained in a shopping centre in London.
Oh, God.
Because something was said, and they're like a little pair of hyenas, the pair of them, her and her sister, when they get together. And if one sister's slighted, they're both slighted, and so they got
basically both still living in the 1950s.
Yeah, they got detained because they kicked off at a policeman. And, yeah.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah. but he spoke to me in a disrespectful way, so I gave him a piece of my mind and said if he did it again, I'd box his ears, Mum. Say that to a policeman, love.
He's not a kid on the street, and it's not 1958.
She said, I told him straight, his mum had brought him up wrong. I said, Mum, now you're really not helping.
Yeah, it's not going to end well, is it?
Yeah, so I don't get what the problem is. I said, oh, bless you.
Don't ever change.
Yeah. I said, do you remember that time, I said, when you were stood in the dock and said he never played well with others and how useful that was to me? Yes, she said. I said, yeah, think back, love.
Think back.
It is funny.
I'm just going to go clean my water out because then we've got one step left then, I think. And then we can
He's good, isn't he, folks?
Just going to clean my water out. Back in a second.
He is good. That's for me metallics, that one. Marcy says, make sure. Yeah. Have you, out of interest, Marcy, have I got that P.O. box address? Is it on your YouTube, I think, isn't it? But yeah, I'll add that to my Royal Mail addresses.
La 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 la.
Yeah, it's just got a blue stamp on it of a return to sender's hand, basically, and so I don't know what happened there. It was months later that it came back to me. But yeah.
I did something very special. I went all the way to the sink to get some clean water.
Yeah.
And didn't put my lenses up, so everything was completely blurred.
Oh, you spud.
My brain was like, I can't see a thing. However, I shall do nothing about it. I shall take no course of action.
Yeah.
Sometimes my brain makes me worry.
I've done that before. Walked up the stairs with the lenses down, thinking, God, that's blurry. These bloody glasses are useless. And it's like, yeah.
Now, hopefully what you'll start to get a sense of.
Yeah, I am listening, honest.
Is that now you've painted these little gold accents, it just kind of makes the whole tank pop in a way. The whole paint job suddenly now looks like something that's not, before it was just grey mess.
Yeah, it's beginning to get a bit of character.
Yeah, it just starts to make it look not just like a grey box. It starts to make everything kind of come together. So there's one thing left to do, when you're ready.
Yeah, no worries, Marcy. I'll look into that then. I'll add that to my Royal Mail address book, so I know I've got it.
Your Royal Mail Spider Pig. Cool.
Yeah, you can have another one, Adam. I'll leave that there because I need to discuss the lid on that later.
John Alex Scale Modelling says, my hands shake, it's awful. I have to do my fine brush painting on a rare day. Yeah, it can be really annoying, John. You know, it's funny. Most days when it happens, I can tolerate it. But on a day when you're trying to live stream and it kicks in, it can be a bit. But luckily for me, I had something to eat and drink, and it was that other thing that was causing me problems today. Yeah. I was going to say something. What was I going to say?
We've got another step to do, and you was about to tell me what it is.
No, I can't remember. Yes, I was getting spot. I was getting some bad shakes when I was painting and doing filming and stuff a year ago, and I didn't know what that was, and that was getting quite annoying. But it turned out it was high blood pressure, and I'm on medication, so that seems to fix it. But the thing that concerns me is that, hang on. Hello, Mama Wolf. I said, hello, Mama Wolf. The internet says hello.
Oh, bless her.
There you go. The thing that gives me pause and concern for the future is that Mama Wolf has essential tremors, which is shakes, but it's not Parkinson's, but it's like shakes. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about essential tremors. No. And my concern is, will I get that when I get older? So if that's the case, then if I end up getting shakes like my wolf, I won't be able to do anything. I mean, you've still got a good 30 odd years yet, mate. Well, hopefully. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's one of them, you know. It's only recently that my shakes have become a problem on lives where, you know, but in general, the illness has progressed anyway, you know, and I've got diabetes on top of it. So you're weighing up whether you're getting shakes because of your diabetes or MS shakes, you know. Yeah.
So you'd have to take a gamble with both or a punt on both and just say, look, I'll have something to eat and drink in case it's that. Or if it's MS, I'll take an extra beta blocker. And I did both earlier and it seemed to work, but quite which one,
Yeah, I say I'm lucky that I'd have to deal with that. But there's a possibility I might in the future. But
it's one of those, you improvise, you adapt and you overcome, mate. And that's the thing, you come up with little adaptations that you use around the hobby that work, But
I mean, if I got them to the point where Mama Wolf's got them, I wouldn't. I mean, she can barely hold a fork, so
no. That's why I said to you about my content, because there'll come a time where, building scale plastic models will be an impossibility. And I know that. That's why I've been looking at other areas on the channel, because you forward plan for that scenario. And that is what the stage I'm at with it now. That's why I said to you I wanted to get some of my stash built. It's not that I'm not enjoying Warhammer. It's just I want a countdown timer. And if I don't get them built, I'll never get them built. And then I'll get the ump myself because I've not utilised that time better.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I started doing the gaming stuff on my channel. Just so that, at some point when I can't do this, and if my eyesight gets too bad or whatever, at least I've got gaming.
Absolutely, you've got another area, another string to your bone, haven't you? There you go. Hello, Paul. How you doing, geezer?
Hello, Paul. Yeah, so that's just the idea, because I know one reason or another I'll be able to, at some point I'll have to stop doing this. So
yes. And that's why, like I say, I've got my 3D prints, I've got my figure painting, I've got Warhammer painting that I can do, gaming. So there are other areas, but the intricate scale model kits, it's like, let's get them built. Yeah. Because I'll kick myself if I don't get them built. So,
right. So I've got the little gold details on there.
Yeah, it was.
Do you see now why I love Retributorama so much?
Oh, it's the dog's nuts, isn't it?
It's a beautiful colour. It's so nice. Such a nice colour to brush on. It's well behaved, and it's not got any massive visible grey when you brush
it don't go all streaky on you. As long as you're subtle and soft. Yeah.
You can thin it a little bit with water, and it still goes on lovely.
That's all I did with mine. I just thinned it with a bit of water, and it went.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I put mine on a wet palette, because it lasts longer and it gets a little bit of water. And you very rarely need 2 coats.
Yeah.
Right, so what I'm going to do, before we do the wash, I want to make sure it's fully dry. So I'm going to give it a quick hair dry.
Yeah, you give it a black, mate.
And I would suggest you do the same, because Retributorama can take a little while to dry.
I'll do it when you've done yours, mate, because,
I'll do it right now. It's just because it takes a little bit longer to dry sometimes, so back in a sec.
Yeah, Marcy says, they likely put it in the wrong post box and the idiots left it laying around instead of making an effort. It just had like a little blue hand signal thing, return to send. I've got it over there, Marcy. It's still on the side there. So, I'll send that out in the new year, because I've got a lot of stuff to send stateside, so... Got to love them, though, ain't you? The efficiency of the postal system. And it's the same as ours with all the industrial action that we've got going on in the UK at the moment. It's not just the postal service, it's pretty much any public service. I can't guarantee what's going to go out when at the moment, so I'm going to hold everything until the new year now. And then I shall start shipping out the UK stuff first, just to see how long it takes for that to get on people's doorsteps, and then I'll bulk send all the stuff to America then.
I'm doing the same. I'm the same with Colin. I need to send him that Harlequin flyer thing, but I'm going to wait till it's all the strike forever, so I can make sure it gets to him. You want to do yours? I'll cover for a minute.
I'm just shaking me wash at the moment.
Oh,
because I'm good.
Good lad. Mew says, still on the right side of the dirt. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yes, as in not under.
So what she did there.
Yes. So hopefully you can see anyway, folks. It's only the little accent, but it just starts to make things pop a little bit more. It takes it from a grey shape with lots of things to you start to see things pop out, and you get little details. And once we've painted things like the sandbags and the las rifles and the dude and the spotlights and the searchlights and all the other bits and bobs, it'll all come together, because you have different colors and different shapes and different things. When it's all just still your base color, it's a bit of a muchness. But once we start to paint all the accents and different areas, it's when it really just start to have a character and start to look like something. And that's the part I enjoy, when you start to see this. And I just love that color so much that when you do the gold stuff, it's like, oh, it's perfect. Now, when we put the shade on this, it will go matte, but then we'll bring that back later at the end of the build. After we've done the matte varnish, one of the last steps you'll do, or I always do, is to go back in and put in any glossy bits that need to be shiny, so like gold trim. You use gold and silvers. Anything metallic that's silver, you use different silver colors. And we use different gold colors and different silvers on the golds and on the metal colors as well. We've still got all these, what do we call it? Purity seals to paint. I've got to paint my las gun on the side. I've got to paint me sandbags and the rope that's around them. And we've got all the details. Don't forget, we've got all the details to paint on the weapons that go on the side as well. On our melters, we've got twin melters for the sponsons. We've got the plasma weapon in the 40-watt range to go in the front schnoz area. But when you're doing this gold retributor armor, if you're going to be doing a wash, normally you'd put a paint on, you blow it dry, it look dry, and you put a wash on. With the gold, it's always worth. I've just found it takes a little bit longer than most other of the Citadel paints to dry, so just give it a quick blast with the hairdryer before you put the shade on. Otherwise, you'll put the shade on and it won't look good. It'll make the paint just fall off the edges and corners. So
absolutely.
All done?
Yeah, certainly am, dude. Certainly am, dude.
Right. Time for the last shade, and we're going to use Reikland Flesh Shade, if you have it.
Yeah, that's what I was shaking, mate.
Good lad. Good lad. I didn't know if I'd mentioned
Which was really easy for me to do, to be quite honest with you. I didn't have to put much effort into that at all.
Well, it's not like Adrax that it needs a lot of shaking, but you still need to shake it.
Absolutely.
Now, when you're doing gold, when I'm doing gold, you can use different color shades. You can use Agrax Surshade if you want. It'll give you a sort of a brown, colder look to your gold. You could use normal, but it would look really weird. The reason I use Reikland Flesh Shade is it's a nice, warm, ready sort of color shade. So when you put it on the gold, it will just give it this nice warm look, and then you bring it back later with highlights later on to bring the gold back, because this will make it go matte. So I'm just going to get myself a nice lovely brush. Again, go for something reasonably large that's got a nice bulb on it, like a medium layer brush, big enough, I suppose. Again,
you're a bulb.
Thank you. You're a medium layer brush, and same as before. Bulb. Hang on. It'd be really good if I didn't bang my glasses into that every time I did that. What we're going to do again is the same again. Trick with these shades on golds is to get your brush nicely loaded, not full like blobbing out paint, but not thin, not like hardly anything on it, and just run it over the thing. And again, make sure the bristles go over the sides of the object, so it runs the shade into the corners and the sides of it, just like that. So you want to get that brush just like when you do a decal and you get the setting solution to go just over the edge of the decal.
Yeah.
Same here. You don't want it to like do a big thick bold line of shade around the edge of it, but you want the brush to just touch the edges so it runs the shade along the edge. And this is where I was saying, if you've not painted a lovely, beautiful, crisp, clean edge, don't worry, because that shade around the side will hide that. Because you'll have a nice line of shading in the corner, and then it'll fade out into the grey because it's, you've not plastered a big thick line. You've just teased the edges of the thing you've painted with the shade. Now, of course, I can't move this now, because if I move this, the gravity is going to pull the shade down. So I need to let that sit for a minute. Now I've done that skull. And then I'll come back in a minute and do...
Yeah, because otherwise the shade's going to want to run down.
Yeah. So when I do the Aquila on this tank here, on this turret here, I'll do that one first and then leave it like that. Or I'll do this one. I'll do this one first because it's easier. I'll do the one on the back and then just leave it standing for a minute. You don't want the shade to move around because you want this to be all over the gold.
Oh, perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better support than that, could I? Look at that. Snug as a rug. Oh, it was. Look at that.
Like
that. That's the nuts, isn't it?
That is the nuts.
You went all Fred Dibner then, didn't you? I like that. You like
that. You like that.
You like that.
Tony, you like that.
Yeah.
Now the trick here is that you want the shade to obviously, as always, collecting the recesses and darken them down. But you darken them down in a colour that's complementary to the gold. It's like a reddy brown colour. And also, it tints the gold to be a more warmer, darker colour. It will make it go matte, but like I said, that's when we'll bring it back later on with highlights.
Yeah.
So in the same way that you do, it's like you paint a skull, you do your Xandri dust and then you wash, and then you do your highlight colours in the raised bits to get the skull back, but you have the dirt in the corners. Same with gold. You do the gold and then the wash, the shade, and then we'll go back with Retributor armor on the raised areas. And then we'll go in with a very light highlight of something lighter, like Liberator Gold or something like that.
Yeah.
In small, and then at the very corners and edges, what you can do is use something like Stormhouse Silver or a silver color, just to really have some quite sharp corners, if you want to, just to get that.
Happy days.
So I'm stuck now because I've got to let them two dry.
You're stuck now. I'm going to do the skulls on the side of the guns whilst that's dry.
I always forget about them guns, even when I'm doing them. I'm forgetting about them. Good God, man. I am so rubbish, I cannot remember. This is where having a block of blue tack actually comes in handy, because I can just bang them in there like that. I've left my tank in front of the camera and it's right in the way of everything now.
That's why I put mine over there.
Yeah, I'm not smart.
Nor am I. Not by a long shot. You might have noticed. Yeah.
Now they don't do it anymore, but they did for a while do a gloss Reichland flesh shade.
Yeah, they discontinued it, didn't they?
Yeah, and a gloss Agrax Surshade. Yeah, they got rid of them now because they probably didn't sell very well. But the way they were really handy in a gloss norm oil was that, whereas we're going to have to get all the gloss varnish on. Oh, make sure you're getting the wash into the eye sockets and things of skulls as well. Whereas we're going to have to wait till this all to dry and then at the very end go back in with some layering. What you could do in the past was get all your gold bits painted, do all your weathering, then paint all the gold bits and then put a shade on them, but it'd be a gloss Reichland or a gloss Agrax, and it would keep the gloss, the shiny thing shiny.
Yeah.
So you could then not have to do all the layering on top, but I like doing the layering.
Absolutely.
But you can do this with Agrax, but like I say, it'll just give you a slightly colder gold effect. Some people, when they're doing, say, Death Guard, who are like the corrupted space marines made of disease and death and plague, they like to do. I sometimes on them I'll do like I'll do this Retributor armor and then Agrax Surshade for a more dirty gold.
Oh right, yeah.
Because Agrax gives you a more dirty gold effect.
Jeff Light says, "What are you using for the support?" It's actually a paintbrush stand that I 3D printed, mate. That's what that is.
It's supposed to be Santa's sled, but he got bored after printing the first one.
So it's basically a paintbrush stand for when I'm doing my painting, but it's perfect to actually rest that in on its Citadel holder. I'd hold it upright, mate. So yeah.
It's amazing how many times I've had to rely on my 2-litre bottle of isopropyl alcohol to be a support for things like that.
Yeah, it's just one of my little 3D printed gadgets that I've got laying around, mate. Because, why not?
La 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 la.
But I can see what you mean. It just putting on them first couple of gold bits, just like I say, it just starts breaking up the tank now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now we put the wash on, it dulls them down and it takes it back away again.
Yeah.
But when they were bright and shiny, it's like bing, ooh, that's fine. But when we've got it finished, you've got all your metallic bits and the dudes painted and the searchlights and stuff. It because all we've got right now is a grey box with some brown bits.
Yeah.
As soon as we start doing these details now, it's like, ooh.
Well, yeah, it'll start bringing it out. Like you say, we've got all the seals to do. We've got the guns and all of that gubbins, leather straps, arrows, bullets, and all of that gubbins. So
arrows?
Arrows, yeah, I've got a thing on the back there. It's got a bag of arrows in it.
Have you?
Is that arrows? It looks like...
No, I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's like some kind of thing on the back there. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, arrows in Warhammer 40?
That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a bow and arrow thing, but it could be a bomb. Yeah, it could be a bomb poking out for all I know. It might be a stick bomb or something. I don't know.
You just said an orc name, stick bomb.
Yeah. I don't know. Could be anything. Could have been confiscated from the orcs, couldn't it?
Could have been Maybelline. No, wait, what?
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for that to dry, what have you got on this week then, Col? Anything planned? I know. I should ask
we're not. It's not E-Models Monday, is it? This week, it's week off, isn't it?
Yeah, not this week.
Yeah, I'm going to finish off filming the thing for the guys at E-Models, the Warhammer book thing that had the 2 figures in it. I'll film the first bit of that. I want to sit and paint them this week, get that filmed and get it out. I've got the rest of my R35 tank I'm going to film. Start getting that all buttoned down. Hopefully Wednesday we'll do a bit more on the E-Models truck, which is just there. Yeah, the E-Models truck.
Finish that. What's left to do on that truck now? Then you pretty much finished that, I would have thought.
Yeah, I've just got a little bit of detritus to go around the wheels and a bit more on the road itself, and it's done, mate. You know, it's pretty much ready now.
A little bit of toast.
So I've got that to do. Hopefully we'll get that done Wednesday.
Yep.
Might be lucky and it might be buttoned up on Wednesday. I kind of want to get it finished before the Christmas break.
Yeah, because you want to take a few weeks off, don't you?
Yeah, I want to take a couple of weeks away and not going anywhere, but it's, and then start planning for next year. Find out off of James what he wants me to build next. I won't know until I get in touch. So
he'll be like, Ted's been rubbish. Do you want to build the Titanic? Oh, no.
Yeah. So, so we'll have a break and then come back with something in the new year. Friday will be a frolic with yours truly.
Who knows what we'll be making?
If I have a bit of luck, I might get some more work done on the Ninja Carbon this week as well. Bit of more detail up. So I'm filming that, ready to be released once the bike's built.
Is that a motorbike by any chance?
That's a motorbike that the lovely Wendy Ixon with an H sent down.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, the detail up was kicking me backside, and then I came up with my magnet on a stick to help me out, pick up the rivets, and I've been able to do some work on it. So what was my nemesis, again, improvise, adapt, overcome, didn't you?
I've just realised there's a bit I've forgotten to paint gold.
Oh, you're joking. Are you been a spoon?
I've got 2 little eagle heads on the back that I completely forgot were eagle heads.
Really? On the back of what?
No, I've got on the back of my thing, the 2 eagle heads from an Imperial Knight.
Oh, right. That's stuff you added on, yeah?
Yeah, like the little bosses that stick out, like a little boss that sticks out of a thing.
Yeah.
I forgot about them. Let me just paint them quickly.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I could pad out so it doesn't look like you made a boo-boo, mate.
That's Hey,
PC IDO's in. He says, hello, Colin and Fox. Hello, Geese. How you doing, mate?
Hello, matey. How's tricks?
Yeah. Paul De Tomaso says, but I live in Canada.
Nothing wrong with living in Canada, mate. Don't apologise.
He says, Lovell on the up and the up, better than 6 feet below. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Yeah. So, it's all good, mate.
Is he apologising for living in Canada because he's Canadian? Is that what they do?
I don't know. I'm going to have to scroll up and find out.
Oh, dear Lord. See what you've pushed Colin to now.
Honestly. Yeah. Yeah.
Do. Yeah. Don't know what I've got on this week. Again, I'm going to try and get some filming done for the big track, big track, which is the thing I've got on the go at the minute. I've started filming that. I'm going to see if I can do another little animated thing for E-Models, a little FAQ video.
Yeah.
Trying to get one done every week or so, but sometimes it's like one. It depends on everything else. Might be one a fortnight. They don't take that long to do. But other than that,
Weavy,
I shall eagerly wait for Friday. If I get the stomp, I might just take time out and finish the stomper. I don't know. Yeah,
because it'd be gutting if your box don't turn up this week, won't it?
Shut up. It'll turn up. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry your pretty little enormous head.
Mine's just there, mate.
Don't you worry your enormous little head.
As soon as I saw Festa Kit Basher, it's like, yeah.
Well, I sent Colin a thing saying, I've ordered something for you. You'll know it's from me when it turns up. Addressed to Festa Kit Basher. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's from me.
I say, the last time Fox did it, posted me, that's an unusual name, Festa. I said, yeah.
He just left it hanging.
Exactly. Yeah. So he is now convinced that that's my real name. And it's like,
Next time I'll address it to like Captain Fantabulous or something.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he really don't know me at all, this bloke. I will mess with him now because he's like, oh.
So Captain Fantabulous, king of the special channel.
Yeah, it was like, it's a strange name. I said, well, you're taking the mickey out of my name now. Really? What was your name then? Am I taking the mickey out of yours? Oh, mate, bit hurt by that, if I'm honest. The DVD guy was there, and off, mate, he went, I think they would learn by now. I said, he's a new one, mate. Oh, he said, you're going to mess with him? I went, oh, yeah, because the DVD guy was the last person that I did all this to. So he's like, oh, do I get to hand the baton over? Not yet.
Bless him. I can't get this to stand up that way now.
Mine does, look. I've got a convenient little holder there. You've got a brush stand, didn't you?
Yeah, but that's I can adjust mine.
Yeah, I can adjust mine.
It's not really, no, it's not really.
So it's not as good as mine then, is it? What about resting the handle on your master's brush cleaner?
Handle. I don't think that's tall enough.
To me, a paint pot. You got any of them?
Not anymore.
Have you got any paints that are in any form of jar?
Nope.
You've got some of them, ain't you? The airbrush mixing jars. What about a little stack of them just to come up to the handle and rest the handle on?
Yeah, that involves going into a drawer.
Oh, you got such a spoon.
Hang on.
Citadel paint pot.
I've got the master's brush cleaner, which is perfect height, except it goes like that and falls backwards. Citadel paint pot there. There you go. It'll have to be that. It'll have to be like that. Citadel paint pot.
Yeah. One simple job. One simple job. So
I went to the adequate school of doing one simple job, and that is, if we're going to do a simple job, we're going to do it adequately.
He's there going, Mum, they didn't teach me multitasking. I like peas.
My instructor told me to think it through, and I asked him if he had instructions for that.
I got confused. They put me in a round room and said sit in the corner. Oh, God, we're going to hell.
Diddly bomb, a diddly bomb.
That's so
gold on my front bits. I mean, me wash on my front bits. Wash me front bits. Little bit of beatbox there. Did you see that? It's good, wasn't it?
I did notice that the beatbox came out there. I'm so impressed, mate. So this Uncle Weavy video that you're going to be doing, does that have beatbox in it?
No, it just has Uncle Weavy.
Yeah, Uncle Weavy doing beatbox with crap done.
No beatbox, just Uncle Weavy. Imagine Uncle Weavy and Craftsman there in the same place.
Oh, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? With Craft's son as well. Oh, mate, yeah,
I'd watch that. Talking about Fun City and spaghetti.
Them all sitting there watching Bluey.
See, this is great because if you know, for this eagle on the side, I just do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That is, mate.
My favourite line in Bluey, my favourite line of all time from Bluey, is when the dad bandit sits there and just looks at the camera and says, "Oh, I've got bandworms." I can't do his voice because Bluey's being a doctor. Says, "What's the problem? What's the matter with you, sir?" "Oh, I've got bandworms."
Oh, wrong.
He does it while giving the camera a big mugshot. And the music's like, damn, damn, damn. And Bluey's like, ew.
Yeah, things that Bluey didn't want to know.
And even his wife is watching it, and she's like, ew.
Dave says, Fox, you spanner.
I am a spanner. I am made of span. That's gold on. That's me wash on that eagle.
You're good.
The eagle has landed.
So it did there.
Mew says back, I think's FFS.
Oh, bless her. Up and down like a yo-yo, bless her today.
Aye. Stretching.
I am descussing the lid of a Citadel pot.
Oh, man, that's good fun.
Because it's a big chunk of Retributor armour that's around the back of there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we shall do.
I wonder how much. Go on.
Apparently the reason... Oh, do you know the reason why they've got white lids? And that Stormhost Silver's got white lids?
Metallics?
No, because they actually contain very tiny amounts of gold and silver.
Oh, really?
And it's to remind the people in store that they're a bit more expensive.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think there's another one that has a white tip, but because I'm talking to my store manager, said, yeah, they actually have a tiny amount of gold and silver in those two, and that's why they're more expensive.
Oh, well,
It's
there
not
you
just
go.
gold, it's actual gold.
Bloody hell. Not that they don't make enough money.
Well, no. But I think what we shall do, because it's coming up to 8 o'clock now.
Oh, bloody hell.
I'll start thinking about dinner, as in ordering my mum Wolf's.
Oh, yeah, that was so funny.
What shall I have for dinner? You know what? I think I'll have curry rice and chips as well.
Well, it's a shame. Is that ping a two-way? Because you could have pinged her down and gone, I'll have curry rice and chips as well. Look at that.
Peas. Oh, you could eat that.
Oh, I wonder how much of that stuff we would have if we saved every little bit of it for a year, because the amount of paint we waste out of these pots.
What you need to do now is you need to start collecting all this together and make the world's biggest ball of paint.
I would as well.
You could submit it to Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum.
Yeah, send it back to Citadel.
Yeah, like they've got the world's biggest ball of string and things like that. World's biggest ball of paint.
Yeah, dear Citadel, this is how much of your paint one person has wasted.
However, I sold it to Ripley's Believe It or Not for £25,000.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's just, But I've resisted doing the whole dropper bottle things because I really cannot be bothered.
Yeah, I absolutely can't be bothered with that.
But I'm tempted at times when I have to do this. So it's one of those, isn't it? I can imagine Muse doing a face palm now going, you can't be bothered to do that, but you're sitting there doing that instead. Yeah.
Well, the thing is with dropper bottles is that's all well and good, but some of the paints they've got are really too thick to be squeezing out of a dropper bottle.
Yeah.
And some of them are meant to be thick and stodgy. So it's like, I don't mind these little pots at all. I find them they're only a pain when you've got to do airbrushing and you've got to then mix them around a bit. But
I have found, believe it or not, cutting the beaks off does solve a bit of it because it stops the paint running down the back of the beak.
Yeah, and I must admit, I very rarely use the beak. I can occasionally get some shade from a beak if I need a little tiny bit. But for the actual paint pots, if I need paint pot, I just put the brush in the pot.
Yeah, so a lot of them, I've been chopping the beaks off.
No, although the beaks are handy if you do dry brushing because you just go open, dip.
That's it. There you go. It shuts now. See, but yeah.
Good girl. Right. Well, I think what we're going to do, we're going to call it a show there. We'll get all these. All we need to do, we just need to go off and finish off putting the washes on gold bits. So I'll just very quickly show you, if I can, the difference between the golds. That's the gold with the shade on it now. It's still dry.
Nice, yeah.
It's a bit shiny. And those bits on the back there is what the gold looked like a minute ago before we put the shade on.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference it makes. It dulls it down, but it makes it a lot warmer and it changes the tone of it. And that's the idea. Because when we build that back later with more Retributor armor and some Auric armor gold or some Liberator gold, it'll change it again, but you'll still have those deep recesses. That's the idea.
You're good, you are.
We're doing it now because we know we'll be going matte later.
Yeah,
so
it does warm it up, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could just leave it as gold. Look at that. You could just leave it as gold and then do some highlights later, but then you've got nothing in the recesses. You see?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got nothing dark in the recess. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that's going to do us. Thank you very much, everyone. How's yours looking, Cole? Are you able to show anything off without making all your washes run? Or
yeah, no, that's what I was doing just now. There you go. Look, have a bit of that.
How's it coming out? Look at that.
Whoa. There you go.
How do you think you've done today with your tracks and your bits?
All right, mate. To be honest with you, it helps if I show you the tracks as well. There's track pads.
So we got a bit of work to do on our tracks off camera later on during the week.
That was the free bristle brushes, doing a bit of draggage across there, and then we've got a bit of that on the side of the gun, and then we've got those on the Aris. Aris birds. Yeah, there you go.
Gold crested. For some reason, I find painting that one on the top of the back there.
Yeah.
Really satisfying because it's flat and perfectly crisp.
Gorgeous, wasn't it? Yeah.
And did you find, like I said, that the Retributor armor just it goes where you want it to go?
Goes exactly where you want it. It doesn't flood. It don't do anything that you don't want it to. And they've got me little gold skulls on the side of the guns there. So
little gold skulls. Yeah. So when I was saying to Cole, like get the brush and just push it a little bit over the edge, the paint just splops down to the vertical wall of the object you're painting and just stops. Great, perfect. Such a
it doesn't flood over any of the other surfaces. It just clings to it. It's just like.
Yep, it's so well behaved, and it's like on a wet palette, it's just enough moisture to make it easily brushable without making it too thin.
Yeah,
I love Retributorama so it's just such a perfect paint. That and Mephiston Red, they're just
that's what it says on the tin, doesn't it?
Yeah, for the way they flow and behave, they are absolutely perfect. Anyway, yes, I hope you've had fun today, buddy. How do you think you've done today?
Considering I've done all right, I think, because it started off as quite a problematic day, but yeah, perseverance paid off, mate.
Perseverance and sheer bloody mindedness.
Yeah, that's the only way forward, folks.
Yeah, but that's where we'll leave it. We'll go and get the gold bits and the track pads painted up throughout the course of the week, and we'll see you again next time, and we'll carry on. I think there's more details next week, so
yeah, that'll be fine, mate. Yeah, like I say, I'll keep that on the bench to remind me to do the rest of the tracks, and I shall just do a little bit of them every day, because I could leave whatever surface I've been working on that day in that support. See, so yeah, I should do them ones next, because I can do it at a sexy jaunty angle. See, so yeah,
jaunty angle. Now, before we go, I will say, of course, thank you to everyone who's been watching. I hope you have the rest of the weekend goes well for you, and thank you for coming along. Don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you want to support the channel, go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or press the join button underneath any of my content, or on Colin's side,
patreon.com/Festa67's workshop, or go over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Festa67, and click the join button below any of my content. Become a channel member.
And to say thank you for you all for being so cool in chat and being all lovely and our friends, I shall leave you, even though he couldn't be bothered to turn up. I shall, despite Jeff not being here, I will give you a Carl-taking quote to go home with.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, even though Jeff couldn't be here. Fly by night. So I shall leave you with this.
Are you?
I'm not bitter. I shall a quote from Carl Sagan's Science is a Way of Thinking. He says, "Something dreadful happens to students between 1st and 12th grades, and it's not just puberty." And there you go. That'll do us. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Go make up something awesome. And he said awful. Go make something awful. Go make something awful. Go make something awesome. Thank you, Cole, for coming along as always.
It's all right, mate. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, big hugs to everybody. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. I did it again. Go make something awful. Go be awful. Until next time.
Adios, amigos.
Oh, you. Oh.